prefer to watch human behavior from afar. The ignorance, intelligence, and they art the war. Tragedy, strategies, put knowledge in the book. Change our language so we couldn't read it if we look. Convince us we ain't have shit here but disease. Made us 3/5 human and black illegally. You put your fist up to being African American. How much history you went through for that to make some sense? I've been on Turtle Island 10,000 years. Akubulan been my neighbor. Pangea brought me here. The world didn't start in 1400s. Sneakers grow up. What you think we was doing? Morse was running Europe. We been tribal folk, now it's time to show up. Bring back the villages, cause cities ain't got no love. Your melanin addicted to the infliction of pollution. Chemical dependency, nature the solution. Grow your food and medicine, build homes in conclusion. The enemy will tell a lies, infiltration as inclusion.
And in order to be in propria persona in this country, whether that be North America, Central America, or South America, you must be a Moor. If they want to be sovereign, they got to go home. They cannot be sovereign here.
Universe is generous, so say less. I'm on it like a magic carpet. Ride a wave through your hood. All I find I keep. Peep to a abandoned scene. Must be left by the vaccine. Oh well, we tried to told them. Now let's go in the hell. Molten lava jail. Now digger where we gon' live. Well, for free. The mind state translate the Mika's first plan.
We here, guys.
Yeah, we here.
Oh.
We in the building.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I had my refreshments and now I am refreshed. How you feeling?
I feel well. I feel pretty good. I am chilling. It is the evening. I'm cold as usual. But yeah, I am always cold. Like my nose, my toes, and my fingertips. They are always cold. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. And it just like fucks up my entire body. I'm a little anemic, hereditary.
Why is it when we get cold our nose runs?
I do not know.
Like it's a defense mechanism or some shit.
Don't got no boogies. Nah, just sniffing because it's cold in there. It's like 2 in the morning.
It is a little chilly in here. I would like a little, cover myself, but she's not sharing. So they're like, F mama. All I got to say is that they don't really care about me.
They don't really care about us. Right? Down here. I'm talking about it's hot upstairs. I don't give a fuck about being hot upstairs. It's cold down here. I'm cold. Can you turn the heat on, please?
Yeah, because heat rises. The cold air is sinking.
What are we talking about right now? I'm cold. Love me.
Okay. I think she's hungry. She keep licking her lips at me.
But peace, y'all. Today's episode is about the celestial maps. I got a lot of information as far as the science, like the physics behind the celestial maps, and a little bit of history. And got a nice little presentation. Let's see.
So we all know what the celestial maps are, right? Try to get me tongue twisted. Exactly. Can y'all see what the dog wants? Well, they call it celestial cartography as well.
Yes. Hemispheres. And also,
she did. Say it loud.
Yeah, planispheres. Thought I had another name for it. Excuse me.
Get up. What about Jordan? He hasn't even woken yet.
The star charts change from an astronomical catalog. That's also another one, but the astronomical catalog is just a listing of the celestial objects in the sky.
Come here.
And there's Earth looking all not so round. And we got into all of this like the last episode about the flat Earth versus the round Earth. And that was fun. We came to the conclusion that we're actually still on Noah's Ark, Tim's spaceship, and we're not really on a planet at all.
I was
At
hoping
least
I was
I
muted the whole time. Was I muted, y'all?
Yeah,
Y'all
you
hear me
muted.
cuss these kids out. Okay.
Gentle parenting.
Exactly. I didn't get up and bust them upside the head.
Right?
But yeah, we did leave off with talking about Una Tim. That was our conclusion that we're still on Una Tim's spaceship.
Yes. And if it's hey, I'm with it. I done seen Star Trek, I've seen Orville, I've seen the Outer Limits in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, it makes sense to me. I'm with the shits.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that theory. I don't be thinking of it as a ship, but yeah. It is what it is.
It makes sense with like all the maritime laws and all the things that when we had the goddess F. Denise Bay on the show, how she was talking about like it's about taking your paperwork off the ship and getting out of all the energy with the currencies and all the lingo and stuff. I'm like, okay,
yeah. Yeah, I did happen to make a discovery on my birth certificate. That my birth certificate is like, first of all, my mother never signed it. That's one thing that was interesting. So she was never in. They don't have her signature on there. And then I don't know. To me, it means like that shit ain't legit. It's just basically on what y'all are saying, and then also the race is not on there neither. So you're not on there as a black or white or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So who decides that for you?
That is interesting. I guess you could just live your best life and do whatever you want. Like, who's going to tell you no? Like,
basically. So when I get my driver's, I'm gonna go and correct my driver's license. I'm like, yeah, I'm American Indian.
Yeah, do that shit. That's
all
what
my
I started.
life I've just been told that I was black.
I started checking off either white. My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white. And I check off American Indian, Pacific Islander. That little
I've
cross
done it
off.
all. I've done it all. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't be caring. I'm whoever you need me to be to get this job, nigga.
I definitely checked off I was white with certain positions.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Definitely was white as shit. And I told y'all, the last time I applied for like, benefits or whatever, I checked off that I was white and I got. And I don't know if it's a difference because, this is my first time being on benefits in like 10 years. I took a 10-year break because they kept telling me I was making too much. So for 10 years, I was making too much. But now that I'm here, they give out like way more bread. Like, it's wild. I don't know.
A substantial amount has increased over the years due to inflation and whoever else.
Yeah. It's more than what the minimum they say is. That's why I was like, I got questions because they always give me a little bit extra. And I'm not complaining. I'm not trying to speak any type of eradication into existence whatsoever. I notice things. And I don't know if 1 + 1 = 2 or so I'm just gonna be quiet about it. But I noticed. Yeah, this is also something we went over on the flat earth thing. I mean,
yeah, we did.
Yeah,
I liked it. That one, number 2. Number 2 was dope to me.
Number 2, my lord.
I don't even know what number 4 is though. I ain't gonna hold you. And I don't even know what number they saying that we're not on the planet. We're not on
Yeah,
the
number 5
atmosphere.
is what we settled on. We're in Utna Fish Tim ship. We're not
Oh
even
yeah,
fucking
okay. Yeah, we on the ship. Okay. I it's yeah. Yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said. We agree to that. Yeah.
I like number 3. More so like
Number
not
3. Mhm.
just being geocentric or whatever it's called, but also like thinking about the way the other planets would be set up. How they interact with each other. You guys know I do like a planetary forecast every week. I would think it would be like multiple little bubbles inside of a petri dish. That's just me.
I mean, yeah. Me automatically saying I like number 2, I'm automatically thinking like how it is on number 3. I just didn't say number 3. But number 3 is a very good representation. Yes.
Number 2 could very well be another spaceship.
Very much so. Very, very much so. But then something's got to protect the spaceship too.
Yeah. That's why I was like, number 3 is like the whole stratosphere type situation around it. And then also number 3 has all the dirt at the bottom.
Yeah, it does. Which it does make sense to have that as well.
Thoughts. So then got into the geo shape of Earth, and all this stuff is going to come into full circle in this episode too. Getting into the little flimsy equator of the Earth, the center of the Earth. Y'all can't even see my pointer, and that sucks. Like there should be like an option to show a pointer so y'all can see what I'm pointing to, because that's weird.
A word? Can you shake it? Like can you
see my mouse? You can't see it, right?
What color is your mouse? Is it white as well?
Of course it's white.
You could change the color of your mouse.
I'm on your face.
Oh no, we definitely can't see that.
That's wild. Like there should be like an option.
Let me look at the edit through YouTube, because you would think we should see it, but no, we can't.
No,
mousy.
I think you guys should allow me to have a laser pointer while I'm presenting my presentation.
Right, because like with any other presentation, like there's somewhere to indicate to point and show what you're speaking of.
Right, and I think laser pointers just make me seem so much more like professional.
Yeah.
Together, because we see exactly what she's pointing at, and that's
Exhibit A right here, and then circle it around like how teachers used to do, how professors used to do and shit. Yeah.
Laser pointer, let's go. It's 2023. Get it together, StreamYard.
I can, and me doing it on my end wouldn't help. Do to share your screen. Maybe we could see it then.
Oh, maybe. Then I'd have to exit out. Okay, we'll do that next episode. We're gonna try that.
We're gonna figure it out.
I got all comfortable.
I like that eyeball of the geoid. It's like an eyeball.
It does. And then I also like, so this is the radiation map that you one. That is one of the different kind of astronomical maps that exist. And I have another one that's going to come up in a minute that's actually going to look more like the ellipsoid, which is interesting. Oh, here we go. Good stuff. Okay, so this is coming back to the mindset of like the equator and things. So this is, okay, so the celestial longitude and latitude is defined with respect to the ecliptic, which is the pathway of the sun, and the ecliptic poles, which you see the north and south. You see the north celestial pole, and of course the south is on the other side. The north celestial pole is pointing towards that little aqua blue area, and the south is on the other side. So
there must be some water over there, or some ice.
Right. because the stratosphere of Earth is so fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
And that also would be in alignment with the 178 worlds, if this is the celestial, like, stratosphere or whatever. But yeah, the longitude is measured eastward from the ascending intersection of the ecliptic. So you go to the ecliptic, which is the top. Oh, it's not in this diagram actually. I think I have another one come in.
Mm-hmm.
But with the equator, which we do have here, don't we? Is there equator? Yes, the celestial equator. This little yellow circle over here. That's a little diagonal. The celestial equator, also known as the first point in Aries. That's where the 0 degrees Aries being a New Year's energy comes from. It's from the celestial equator they created, and the place of the sun at the vernal equinox.
Which is the new year.
Yep.
Okay. I have to make sure I say that every time, so people know what we're talking about.
Oh, this comes back to the model that we was talking about. That Model 3 on the other slide.
Yeah, that's Model 3. Yeah, that's I like that. Mm-hmm. I do like that.
I do like that, but I got questions about the bottom.
Yeah.
And I don't have questions about the bottom because the bottom has pockets. And you know how you could like dive into the ocean and then end up in a cave and on more land, and now you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like the whole bottom being ice covered would make sense. Instead of going down so far, you end up.
Instead of it being like round like that, it's like not perfectly rigid at the is only as rigid at the bottom, you know.
Yeah. And the way reflection is set up, if you were in outer space and you're looking at the earth, that whole like domey thing on top of the earth will probably be like reflected outward. So it would look like it's all on the outside, but really that's, you know,
Right.
just an idea.
It'll probably look like curved in, like you know, caved in or whatever, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. They just showing us like, yeah, this is where the clouds are going to sit up there. You know.
Clouds is pollution. I don't care what nobody say. Like when you get into like the science of like condensation and all that stuff like that, honestly, I just compare it to me cooking. If I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking food and say you boiling water with a clear lid on top and the water is boiling. When the planet is hot, the clouds go up, and because we're in a closed dome, that glass lid on the pot is keeping all the clouds in the inside, and then the clouds fall back down. However, when I put a seasoning in the water or butter in the water, and the same condensation happening occurs, but now when it comes down, it's coming down like a different like color, different shade. You know, clouds be having different shades on them. It come down like, you know, little specks inside of them and shit. Now it's a little concentrated out here burning snow. It was a guy this year, you know, a lot of people forgot about that. How you can go outside and set snow on fire and it doesn't melt. It's defying the laws of matter. And when you remove yourself away from human laws, we're actually, you know, supposed to be in alignment with universal laws. You know, laws of matter is one of the universal laws. So, like, while we over here worried about human laws and man-made laws and common law and all that shit, these motherfuckers is over here trying to defy universal laws, which are the laws we supposed to be protecting.
That's amazing how somebody can set snow on fire. I have heard that before. I was thinking it was the man-made snow, you know what I'm saying? How they got the machine to make the clouds or whatever. So maybe those clouds are the ones that are polluted. Those clouds right there that they set out. And we have our natural clouds, the ones that, you know, descend down on the earth. Like how we was talking about, you know, backstage or what have you. So that's a good point, though. I like that. Very much could well be.
You know, you're right. It used to be like a pattern. Like if we had a really cloudy day, the very next day it would be a lot of fog. You know, experience that the way we used to. Also, I've also been in the house with a broken leg. So, my my interpretation of things is not
Your
a
leg is
hundred
broke.
shit. I spent the whole winter in the house like a real one, like the bear that I am. The
That was an
universe was
inside
like, "You
joke.
want to hibernate in the winter? I got you, sis. We finna break your leg." Like, this is not how I asked for it, but it's cool.
Yeah, wow. Oh, sis, I didn't know you walk around with a cast on your leg. Like you broke your leg. That's why you got that on. Oh, okay.
Wild.
That was shade.
All the shade. Blot out the sun with that hoe. But yeah, it used to be like a pattern, like with the fog on the ground. So, once that pattern is kind of gone. And you know what else I noticed? All right, so I live in
Mhm.
Jersey. I don't like North Jersey. North Jersey smells weird. I lived up there for a few years. I have a lot of emotional trauma in North Jersey, but that whole area can kiss my ass. Um, it's a weird tribe of people, and also they spray in the sky a lot. Like,
Mhm.
it's to the point now where, like, if you're driving on the New Jersey Turnpike, once you get to like exit 12, it smells different. The
Mm.
smells in the air, it smells pickled. Like they're pickling the humans up there. So it's like a lot of vinegar in the air or something.
Oh
It's
shit.
definitely that pickled smell though. I'm very familiar because when I was younger and I could eat them and I was eating pork, I love a good pickled sausage. Bro, me and pickled sausages were inseparable. I can't eat
Hot
that shit no more.
mamas. Hot mamas. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
them.
Oh my God. Ah, memories. It was like 5 years ago. I'm spiraling, y'all. I'm sorry, and I don't give a fuck. But it was like 5 years ago. It was like the last time I tried one. Mind you, it had been like a good 5, 6 years since I tried it. When I tried that, girl, that first bite, I had a whole sweat line.
I used to warm mine up a little bit.
Sweating.
I used to warm mine up. It's been a hot ass minute since I've had one. But I think back when I was in Atlanta and it was when I was going to Job Corps and they had like a little store down there. I forget what I think her name was Miss Betty. She was so sweet. But yeah, she had a little store. She had the pickled pig feet, the pickled eggs, the pickled onions, and the hot mama, the big ass. I used to get
I
one of them all the time and warm it up. I ain't gonna hold you. They are the best when they are warm. And I will just
I
gobble that thing right on up.
Now I
Mhm.
gotta play Daredevil, go get me a hot mama, warm it up just to say I tried it because I feel like I'm missing out. I lived on them shits. My mom be like, I don't know how you eat them shits, but I used to eat them shits for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know how I did it either because today,
Mhm.
nah, bro, I feel
Mhm.
every gram of sodium. Soon as it touched my tongue, like, bitch, this is above your natural servings. What the fuck are you?
Like you can only have that one for the day.
Yes, yes. And I
Yeah.
used to have multiple because when I was a kid, it was two for $1.
Oh yeah, they were. You ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you ain't lying because not too long ago they was like still 50 cents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you get the shorter
Mhm.
ones for 25 cents. And I don't know why the shorter ones, if I got four of them, they convinced me I had more. So I was pickled the fuck out. I love
Mhm.
olives, I love pickles, I love banana peppers. Put in
I
some
love
vinegar,
banana
eat that
peppers.
bitch.
I love banana peppers. I
I
love.
love
I put
vinegar.
banana peppers on my sub when I go to Subway. I'm like, throw the banana peppers on the bitch. Yeah,
I put that on my pizza. My favorite pizza topping, if anybody ever wants to buy me a
banana
pizza,
pepper.
banana peppers and black olives. It's my favorite.
I don't really fuck with the black olives though. I fucks with the green olives. I love the green olives. I love the green olives. They don't
My
never
black
have green olives though. When you go to a pizza shop, you ain't getting no green olives. You're getting the black ones. The black
mm-mm.
ones just kind of they're they're just bitter and just a little bland to me. So you
Yeah,
gotta
those
have
are
other shit to
Indian
go with.
olives. That's why, like the ones you're talking about, those are Spanish olives. So when I go to the Spanish store
Oh,
and I
okay.
get paella or something like a rice dish, that'll have the Spanish olives in it.
Oh, okay. So there's
Yeah,
different black olives. Okay. I didn't know that.
the green
I know
olives is Spanish,
I
and the
like the
black
green
olives is like
olives.
Greek and Italian.
Oh, and then the purple ones, they have purple olives. I like the salad bar when I go to Publix. So I would literally go in there, and it's like $7.99 a pound for olives. So they have like the cheese stuffed in the olives. Yes, the olives are
Oh
like
yeah,
huge. They're like this big. Some of them have
those
pits in them. Some of them remove the pits. But I get them all. I get the purple ones. I get the green ones. I get the and then they have herbs in it too. You know what I'm saying? They have papados and all that, and bell peppers mixed in with it.
that
Girl,
sounds
I would sit
amazing.
there and just eat some fucking olives. But I add them to my salads. I had to add them to my salad.
Me
Romaine
too. But
lettuce, of course, or spinach. Girl, them olives be busting, but
now
they
I gotta
just
go
so
to Publix.
salty.
We ain't got that up here.
Y'all got a Publix there?
No,
No?
I feel
Hmm.
deprived.
Hmm.
So now I gotta warm up a hot mama, and I gotta go to Publix so I can get me some purple olives because I didn't even know that shit existed. I
Yeah, they're
do love
purple
olive
olives.
shooters. Olive shooters are delicious, and I don't even rock with cheese like that, but I will eat some fucking olive shooters.
They put them feta cheese in it. Mm.
Mm-mm.
Some of the olives are like squished. Some of them are shaped like our planet, you know what I'm saying? Like the elliptical shape, you know? And some of them are, really, really squished and kind of look like a raisin. And some of them are just nice like a egg. They get really big too. They get really big. I used to buy a jar of olives, the green ones. Hello. I used to buy a jar of olives. I used to eat a whole fucking jar, sis. I ain't gonna hold you. I wouldn't care about no sodium or nothing. You think I paid attention to that when I was a kid? Girl, I
No,
would eat I would smash that whole jar with
was not
pride.
interested. That sounds amazing. I gotta try those fucking purple olives. Who knew?
Somebody was telling me the other day, though, we was having a discussion about sodium. It was like salt is good for your body. Like your body can survive off of salt or whatever. I was like, but if you have too much, it has its effects as well.
Mm-hmm.
There was like, I was like, well, I mean, we know sodium is something that's necessary for us to have. You know what I'm saying? But I know if I get too much, my blood pressure is elevated. So there's a connection
We're
with
not
that.
supposed to be eating as much as we eat at all. Like
No,
we're
not
supposed
at
to
all.
be barely eating.
Mm-hmm.
But we're emotional eaters. We get bored, we eat, we get happy, we eat, we're sad, we eat, we want to celebrate, we eat, we're angry, we eat. Everything is like emotional. Like if you go too long without eating, you get mad. You're not hungry, you're mad.
I started to think of some things I want to eat. Then I just go get some. But the
Mhm.
discipline of it be like, it's the discipline and it's like, Danielle, you just had a bowl of cereal, girl. What more do you want? You want to lose this weight or not? I'll be
I'm
like, maybe not today. Let me go. Let me eat what I want. Let me satisfy that little craving because I'm not going to overindulge in it. I'm just going to eat a little bit of it just to satisfy myself because I don't want to keep telling myself no.
I don't either. I don't be wanting to hear no all the time.
The
Oh,
fuck would I want to do that?
this is cool because this shows like the northern sky. Okay, so I got one
Mhm.
image of the northern sky and I got another one of the southern sky. So
What
the
is
sign,
this going across there?
yeah, okay, so that's white shit. And
Mhm. It looks like it's got legs down there, though. I ain't gonna hold you. Like down at the bottom of it, got some legs.
like we got a river. Is that like a river in the sky? Because if I go outside and I look at the sky, maybe it is there. Next time I go camping, I'm going to look to see if there's a light skinned
You know
ribbon in the.
what? It is like a light skin line have seen before. I don't see it every night, but off of photographic memory, I recall seeing something like that once upon a time or a few times before. But it's not always there. Maybe it's a asteroidal belt or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah, that could be valid because it would probably be so many stars in that belt that it just like lights up the sky rather than you just seeing the stars individually. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And also like a lot of the information I looked up, Americans is a certain culture of individuals. They like to communicate the information that they have as absolute. Like, oh, what I say goes. And in the past, they weren't saying what I'm saying now, so they're incorrect. Like, okay, that's not valid. If you really pay attention to a lot of the jargon that's used in the research and stuff, a lot of them utilize the words like appear, and it's like a lot of observational shit. So
Right.
that doesn't mean that it's facts. This is just from where your little ass is standing, and understand how small we are in comparison to like the whole fucking galaxy that we're trying to make sense of. Also keeping in mind how our eyeballs already play tricks on us because of the cones and the circles and the lights in them, and also learning about your natal chart. Your cosmological DNA is in alignment with your actual DNA sequence in your body. So the light in your eyes, how your eyes perceive light, how your eyes perceive images, and what your eyes perceive as beautiful or not beautiful, likable or not likable, all of that is determined by the Venus placement in your chart. Venus rules over your eyeballs.
My Venus is very vain, yo.
My Venus is in Virgo. I'm very picky. Very, very
I
picky.
forget what mine is in, but I know mine get upset because being that if I don't have my glasses on and I ain't seeing what I thought I was seeing, because I see with my mind first before my actual eye, I believe. My eye takes a quick glance and then my mind is like, yeah, girl, it's all good. And like when I see it, I'm like, that is not what I saw.
That's not what I
That is
ordered.
definitely not. That's definitely not it. That is definitely not it. Yeah.
So a lot of the celestial maps we see now, they're round. And the reason behind them being round, and I quote from Britannica, is the sky appears as a hemisphere resting on a horizon. So the celestial map is therefore spherical. It appears. So people went outside and looked at the sky. People was looking at the different maps and things. It was like, it appears to us in our round ass eyeballs that, you know.
Exactly. The point I was going to make real quick was upon me doing my research on this episode, and when I was, just happened to get a little ADHD and drift off and just start looking at about space, how to get down from the rockets or whatever, how they return to Earth, and also how they come about with the celestial mapping or whatever. But there's an app or program, application that they have that NASA uses, and I just reading upon it or whatever, just making sense of what they're saying. And a lot of wording that they do use is, we come up with this so that whoever is reporting or taking notes of this can make this to be or appear like this, and we have illustrations of different levels of this to make the appearance seem more real or realistic, so that gives you a lot of information right there to show you that everything that they put out there as far as like imagery, it's all made up. A lot of it is made up. A lot of these pictures that we see of our planet and other planets and stars and shit, a lot of that shit is so much made up and illustrated by the works of NASA. Okay.
NASA. I like that. That a song, NASA.
Okay. So yeah, they use a lot of that wording about appears and what looks like and enhancements of this and illustrating. And like, we know illustrations are things that people draw, people make,
Mm-hmm.
illusions, you know what I'm saying? So
Illustrations. Agree.
Exactly.
This is what it looks like from the north, and that's where we're located. These are the constellations that we see most often. It's just, they just twist around for us because of the way the earth is tilted. the way the Earth moves and then the way the other planets move, it appears that the constellations are in movement, but they are in movement, but they're light years away. So their movements are not in visual distance at all for us. We're still looking at the stars from thousands upon years ago. Ain't no telling what stars is still there and what stars is gone because
Yeah.
we're so many years away. We would never fucking know.
Yeah, from the light that's still traveling, or the
Right.
light that
Exactly.
has reached us and is already done left millions of
And that
fucking
goes
years
to
ago,
show how
probably.
powerful we are, though, and how we need to be more responsible for the sounds we make and the lights that we have and what we put
Mhm.
out into the universe because it's touching space
Absolutely.
and light years from now it's going to be touching far away spaces and we out here just saying anything.
You're right, sis. Got to be more careful.
Got to be.
Mm.
um in
I
addition
know
to
one
this,
thing, the universe echoes it back to you though. Once you put it out there, it
oh
does
for
come back
sure.
to you. And it might come back a little faster than a light year. If not, then you gotta reach you in your next lifetime.
But I like what you were saying before when you were like a lot of these planets are not in a separate dome. I mean, I don't think it
Mhm.
says like cut and dry as it being other planets, but I think that there are other lands. Like, let me see. I don't want to fast forward too much, because you see how hard it was for me to get back last few slides we did.
It's all right, sis.
But
We will find our way back though.
it's the
We always find our way back.
right. I think it's an image that I have up here that shows how all the planets. Okay, so if you look on this image right here, you see how like some of the planets kind of like move around upward and downward. Like you have
Mm-hmm.
your thing and your declinations. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there we go. So with the ascending and the declinations, like I would think that that's what's going on inside of our bubble too. Like just like there's lands below underground, there's lands in the sky too.
All right.
And when we were talking about the flat earth and the round earth last episode, I was thinking about that, like, the different flight directions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if some of the flight directions are set up how they are to avoid those elevated lands. We got mountaintops, but just thinking a little bit deeper than that, to like, floating islands.
Maybe so. Shit. Hell, it could be. I mean, shit. There might be some sky people up there and shit living. Hell, they damn
Yeah,
sure was in the cuneiforms.
right? Solid.
We on a ship, right?
Right? We on the yeah.
We're on a spaceship. Hell.
Okay, so that's the
We're gonna
northern
give
star.
we'll give that more thought when we have more thoughts to input on it though. You know what I'm saying? My
Oh
mind
yeah,
is my mind is always, wondering on the infinite possibilities that, well, hell, why do we look up to the sky so much for answers and shit? So
right, right. I also, this is a nice little compare and contrast the different sizes of things and things. Um, Also, this is the
everything
science
is round.
Earth's orbit around the sun. So y'all seeing like how the planets was moving around the sun as the sun is going straight. The planets are moving in a circle around it, but not just in a circle. They're moving upward and downward, kind of the way like the different electrons, protons, and neutrons circle around an atom. That's how they're moving around the sun. They're
Hmm.
all different axes. The Earth has its little axis action or whatever, what have you. Um, Oh, and this goes back to what we were talking about, when we got into Inky and then Lil, the 6,000 year sun and moon cycles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the information, where is that in my notes? Can't find it. I'm looking for the numbers. I forget.
That's amazing what I'm thinking about. I'm going to come back to it. I got to look up something else.
No, I can't find it. It's gonna come to me in a minute, but that's all right. The eastward rotation of the Earth produces an apparent westward rotation of the sky. Again, apparent, not a definitive word at all. Is giving the appearance that the sky is rotating to the west, and the stars appear to rotate around a northern or southern celestial pole. That's where we begin the concept of a north pole, south pole. See how it switches a lot during the equinoxes that you see up here in the solstices. And an observer in Earth's North Pole could observe only the stars of the northern celestial hemisphere. So, someone in the North Pole would only be able to see this sky. Sometimes we get more. Well, we have access. We have knowledge of more constellations than this, but they're all still within the same areas. And then an observer that's located at the equator will actually be able to see the entire celestial sphere. So we have to go to the equator because I want to see what their sky looks like. I'm about to get an astro lens for my camera. I got a nice little Canon camera, and just go up there and take some pictures of the sky and see what's happening.
If the Earth is round, like they say it is, and you go to the equator and you can see the whole celestial sky like that, then that means you're at the fucking bend of the belt of the Earth to where you can see that shit.
But okay, I get what you're saying. All right, hold that thought.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the equator. I'm assuming that the equator is Equator is that little red line that's around the Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's supposed to be it.
So,
that red line. It's supposed to be hot too all the time.
Right. Where are we at on the equator? Are we in Africa on the equator? Are we in Australia on the equator?
Exactly.
Are we in America on the equator? Where are we at on the equator? Because
Ecuador or somewhere. Are they on the equator? Let me see.
I believe
Countries on the equator.
Northern South America is the equatorish.
I'm about to look it up. Countries on the equator.
Okay.
They better give me a list too. Oh, they give me everything else but what I need. Ecuador. Yeah, Ecuador derives its name from the equator. I'm so smart. Yeah, dead ass.
Okay.
Ecuador. Damn, they only said Ecuador. What about the other places? I know that's
only Ecuador. That's it.
The equator passes through Sao Tome and Principe. So no más?
Nope.
No más? That's it? The Ecuador is only through the equator is only through Ecuador?
I guess so.
Huh? Nah, can't be.
I'm trying to see what the stars look like from Ecuador.
The equator is designated as 0% latitude. Is the 0%? 0 degree latitude.
Okay, I definitely see that little crack in the sky from the stargazing that's supposed to be in Chile and Ecuador.
The other four being the Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, and Tropic of Capricorn. Interesting, Tropic of Capricorn. I like that. Okay, it passed through 11 countries. Okay, so Sao and Principe, Gabon, Republic of Congo. Right. I'm saying it's got to pass through some Africa as well. The Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, so Republic of Congo and Democratic Republic of Congo, they're two different countries. Just say it's the same country. I don't know why y'all want division like that. Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, Indonesia, Ecuador, Colombia, and Brazil.
My bad. I've been sitting still too long.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. Okay. That's where they said the equator is, lined up with all these countries. Now I need a visual. Why won't let me go back? Like, come on. Countries on the equator. I'm trying to look for a visual, you guys.
No, this is so pretty.
Okay, so
The sky don't look no different.
you don't?
No, I'm about to see if I could present it here. Hold up. I found this website. It's called theskylive.com, y'all. If y'all ever want to look at the sky live. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Okay. I'm just saying, like, if the equator is aligned like that or whatever, how's Ethiopia and Eritrea seeing it? They forgot about Eritrea. They ain't Eritrea.
It was like in the north.
Eritrea is like right there at the tip of the bottom of, on the side a little bit of Ethiopia. Once upon a time, it used to be part of Ethiopia. So this is the equator. So why these other countries that are in white? Why they don't see the sky like that? Why are they not part of the equator? The ones that's right there over in what is that? Chile? Is that part of Chile over there? Why part of Chile can't see it?
Ecuador is Central America. That's why I was like, I didn't realize that the equator was so high up. That's one of them little skinny spots.
Ecuador is Central America. Yeah, exactly. It is Central America. Where on here on this map does it? Okay, Ecuador is right there on the tip. Then that must be the last country before you reach the next one, which may be Chile. Is that long? No, Chile is down at the bottom. It's a long little piece, right? So that ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, why this country right here that's in white? That little gap right there in the white. Why is that lit up red? And then why is Ethiopia? How's Ethiopia able to see it? See, they try to present it like it's a perfect line and shit. You know what I'm saying? That goes around the earth, but ain't no way.
Oh, I really rocks with this website. This might be like a little cheetah sheet from the
when you can't go outside.
Yeah, they the forecast visuals. All right, so it's not showing up up here the same way it did on my phone, but that's okay. We're gonna navigate.
Why they call this Tropic of Capricorn? It's over there by Australia.
I have no idea. So in my mind, I believe that they like how I think I have a model of it, but they kind of put the astrological belt around the earth as well. Like astrocartography is definitely, but they divided up the regions of the earth and gave them to different constellations. And that's initially the astrology stuff was utilized for people traveling. But this is pretty cool. So the little celestial events happening. But this is what This is how it's supposed to look in space right now with the sun in the middle. You see how all the orbits around the different planets, all the orbits of the planets, like they interlap with each other. They're not all, you even got one coming all the way around. Like whose long ass orbit is that? That is so obnoxious.
It's got to be Pluto's.
Not Pluto over here. Dang, you can't see my mouse. Can you see my mouse on the screen?
Yeah, I can see your mouse now.
Okay. Who cares where it's at? So Pluto is right here. I know that for next time. I'm just gonna do screen share.
Oh, it worked. Oh, you did it. Okay.
See, some of these orbits are long as shit.
Yeah, whose orbits are those? Which is that longest one tilting over there?
I'm trying.
They won't let us know.
No, because they keep zooming in at a weird spot. Like, bro, I'm not trying to zoom in.
Why
right
you want to
there.
show us all the planets always cluttered in like that when we want to see the which planet orbit is out like that? Like, come on, Saturn, Jupiter. You got to be Uranus, Neptune. Okay, Pluto. It's not a planet. It's somebody else. It's something else.
Yeah, it's something else. It's not a planet. It's probably one of the dwarf planets they don't be trying to give attention to, because I don't see any major planet on there.
Yeah. Then you got the light skinned belt across the sky right there, looking so pretty. Is that the Milky Way? Okay. Everything else is dark as fuck though.
Yeah, and it's the science that the sky be okay. So I get the science because I do have a light. I have this light in my space. It sits next to me on a table, and when that light is on, and it's the only light on, I can't see nothing else. Like anybody standing behind the light, I can't see them.
Yeah.
So that would make sense as far as it being so dark and the sun being so bright that you kind of only see the sun. But that's only valid to me. Like, all right, let's look at these orbits. Where the fuck is Earth at?
So
why does it look like
everything else is just far the fuck out? Like every another damn sun is just super super far.
That's pretty much the energy they're giving.
So basically, we have like this black space around our system. Okay, our system with our sun and our planets and our stars or what have you. You know what I'm saying? That in that case,
I think we should be able to see Venus sometimes. Venus orbit is hella close.
Yeah, because you can see Venus in daytime, right?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, seeing Venus bigger than what it is, like
got to be right.
Look at Earth. Earth is right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is Venus orbit right here.
Mm-hmm.
That orbit kind of close, and the sun is over here. So it's not like the sun. It's not like Venus is always on this side of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the planets are over here. So when the planets are over here, why don't we see them closer? We should see them better.
Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they make these pictures, these illustrations. This is not a true illustration of outer. This is they got to show us something like with a telescope eye. You know what I'm saying? Live for us to see it or whatever. And then you can only see but so far with that shit. Like when you zoom out, like oh shit. Like what's these other shit? What I can see a whole bunch of other lights or whatever, a whole bunch of other specks of light and shit. Like that does not make no sense. It's so many lights and so many stars emitting and bouncing off each other. Space should be bright like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But just because when the Earth turns dark, when it turns dark on the Earth, we're figuring that the whole space is just dark because we can just see our eye from this far down this planet. Can just see it straight out into space like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. But on other planets, like the red planet, what planet is that? Mercury?
Mars.
Mars. You say they say that everything looks dusty on Mars. It's everything is red and dusty on Mars or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yes, y'all there got your robots there taking pictures and shit. And hell, them half-ass damn color pictures y'all got don't even look for real. Or then everything's in red. So what does Mars sky look like at night? It's just dusted with red clouds.
Looking at the position of Mars to Earth, Earth should be able to see Mars
all the time.
Earth should be able to see Mars until Mars is on the other side of its orbit. And that's just the science of light.
Earth should be able to see the moon all the time, day or night. Earth
the only
should be able
time
to
Earth
see the moon.
I get the science behind the moon phases because when you told me that when you sent me that thing that Earth wasn't solid, that shit made like okay, if it's solid and it's really just taking on. And also, where is the fucking moon? Because the sun is not that big. The sun is not that big. When I do my planetary forecast weekly or whatever, I talk about the moon being in a occultation with this star, being, a minimal angle with that star. How is it in occultation and minimal angle with different stars that are bigger than the sun? Remember
the sun is a dwarf sun.
Showing you that the different star Antares and all them in their comparison to they're bigger than. So like if the moon is our moon, it's our moon. It's not Saturn's moon. It's not Jupiter's moon. It's Earth's moon. Earth is all the way in the middle of the fucking. We are literally. Fuck this map.
How far is Antares?
Antares is supposed to be in the Scorpius constellation.
Okay, it's in the Scorpius constellation. Okay. And how far is that constellation away from us?
Oh, that's a good question. Hold on. It's not so far to where
I'm making a point here though. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a point here. You got all this shit and all this heat coming from these other damn stars or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Now you would think that planets as large as Antares would burn up the motherfucking sun and everything else, right? Being that it's so fucking big. So it must not be no heat out there in motherfucking space. Space must not contain heat. The only way heat reaches our planet is because of the dome that is covering us, right? Because, I mean, I guess to absorb the sun or whatever, and it gets trapped in there like a little oven or something like that. But then also it has to release that heat as well, or we'll burn the fuck up, or we'll remain hot all the time, which doesn't make any sense for Mercury, right? The closest one to the sun, which doesn't make any sense for Venus to be the hottest planet, right? If Mercury is closest to the damn sun.
Yeah, Mercury gets closer.
Mercury is closer, but Venus is the brightest and the hottest. How? How, Sway? How? Put my hand in the damn oven at 500 degrees, my hand gonna burn the fuck up. Versus when I pull it back some, and the heat, I can still feel the heat. It's hot, but it's not as hot. And don't tell me because of the gas on Venus and shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because then you would think about Mercury like it should have all kind of explosions and gas and shit. Shit's always, Mercury's probably already blew up by now.
What Mercury is, like the element Mercury, like what?
Element Mercury, come on now, like come on. Yeah. See,
the sky doesn't look any different to me. Like the most I could say here is I can't say anything. This is not giving the earth is round.
This is not giving that this is even a real fucking image. Okay.
Right.
Oh, look up. Is that earth flat? Is that earth flat down there? Is that land that's flittity flat?
Woo, look at there. We down here, cuz.
So what if our dome, right? Okay, sis. All right. I'm just gonna say this. What if all the constellations and the stars and stuff that we are able to see, what if those other lands are the lands that are above us in the skies within this planet or ship?
I think that when I was a kid, I used to think that like the lights that we see in the sky are reflections of all the lights that we have on down here. There used to be an episode on Simpsons, which now as an adult, that's a crazy ass parallel because Simpsons always be on it. But it
Mm-hmm.
was an episode on the Simpsons where they addressed that. It was telling everybody turn off their lights, and then all the lights went out in the sky, and that's when they realized they like, yo, the sky is just reflecting what the fuck we doing down here.
Yes, because okay, think about it, right? There's certain parts like okay, where my kid's father was from in Jamaica, or he was living in Black River back when he was a kid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have electricity out there. His parents stayed on some land out there in this country out there, right? So for them to, if they're walking at night, they had to have a dog with them to, to guide them to, go wherever they need to go because they said there weren't no lights out there and shit like that. So it's pitch, so it's black, it's dark. So even if the moon wasn't full, right? And sometimes in the night sky, you might not even see no stars, right? Well, then
Right.
how so does that happen though? Where you don't see no stars. The stars are always there, even though they rotate and they move and shit, you know what I'm saying? But not like they don't make movement that fast like how the moon does when it goes through the phases and shit. Not at least to what we can see.
I
You
think
don't
the
sit
movie
your behind down.
was like it's not the constellations that's moving, it's us moving. And we
Mm-hmm.
move so much in so many different directions so quickly that while we're moving, it appears that the constellations are moving. And that brought me to a question
Oh yeah, like
here.
if you walk and you look up at the sky, it looks like it's moving along with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's actually the backdrop standing still. The only thing that's moving is us, the planets. And then they give off the energy that the sun is moving straight forward like a beam and we're moving around it. And then some other models say the sun is not moving at all. We're literally just moving around the sun within its gravitational
That's
pull.
what they taught us, that the sun just sitting there still, but that's bullshit because if the sun has a rotation, the sun has an orbit as well. The sun, hell, the sun and the moon pass by each other, create
Hmm.
ellipses and shit. So, you know, but I
Right.
don't even think the sun is outside of our planet. I believe the sun is in our planet and the moon.
Yeah, you said that. And I
Yeah.
would. That makes sense too, because again, coming back to the light experiment, like this
Mm-hmm.
light in my room is in my space. Now, if the light was outside, would it have the same effect? If it was outside the window, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't
Mm-mm.
have. If the
No.
light was outside in the window, then I would be able to see everything better.
Right. And it's kind of vague with people, could just say that, the earth is separated by, this hemisphere or whatever, and the sun just happened to be on this side of the fuck earth. That's why I was looking up time a few minutes ago. I was like, well, what time is it in China? What time is it
Mhm.
in Russia? It is around 12 o'clock p.m. in China. In Russia, it's probably just now hitting about 7:30 a.m. Okay. China and Russia are right there next to each other, but Russia is so many hours, but you thinking about it on a larger scale, being in the planets, right? And I'm the sun and I'm shining on this side. All y'all niggas will get the same amount of light. You know what I'm saying? In theory.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what time you say it is. The sun is
Yeah.
over there. So that means that the sun was there since like 2 o'clock in the morning Russia time. If it
Right.
was over there, say
And then
the sun rose at
Australia.
7 o'clock. What was that the other place you said? Asia, China
Yeah.
time. If the
Yeah.
sun was 7 o'clock Asia time, then it was in Russia 2 o'clock. That's hmm.
And then
I,
Australia is probably about 3 something p.m. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Okay, but those are two opposites compared to our map, compared to our globe. they're still on the same side of the hemisphere of the eastern hemisphere, but
Mhm.
you know, one is just up here, you know, north, and one is down here south, near
Right.
Antarctica or what have you. But
But if you're talking about two places that's on the same hemisphere, like
it
they're
should be
not
all on the same time, you ask me.
to an
So why do
extent.
we
Like,
have different time zones though? Why do we have different time zones? If we have
you know,
something that separates us from each side of the earth or whatever you, and then you know, north and south and shit, and then you got a whole equator or whatever. What the how why do we have zones of time?
you know that messed us up when we started doing the planisphere, and I was talking about that when we did the
Mm-hmm.
history of maps. I was like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
like how you flatten out a circle onto a square sheet? Like, who told you what country to start at? How did
Right.
you start where you started at to say, okay, we're gonna cut it in the middle here and then flatten it
They
out? This is
always
east,
cut it
west,
in
this
the
is
middle
south.
right there. And this is the imagery that they give us all the time from right here, where we always see North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Alaska. I mean, not Alaska. Sorry, Australia. The Aussies all the way over here. You know what I'm saying? In the corner. I think they kind of want to take them off the map.
There's actually like more land masses growing around the Australia area. Like, you know, the
Yeah.
pendulum is really swinging. I'm telling you, like, land is disappearing in America since America don't want to do it right. Our land is being taken away, and other areas where they try and get together, their land is getting bigger.
Mm-hmm. What if? What if Australia ain't even over there? What if Australia is right here, like next to California? What's a
Exactly.
I can't
Like,
go
how do
for it.
you just pick a random spot on a fucking ball and say we're gonna chop it up here and this is where the square starts? Like, bro, because the science behind that, I mean, what's the age of time to our time? Time was invented to control people. That's all time was for. Time was invented because people weren't getting to the same place at the same time. So they were like, oh, we finna just, you know,
That was on nigga
we
time.
got
That was
the-
niggas. They was like, yo, we on nigga time. We ain't gonna be there around that time because we ain't ready yet. So we gonna need a few hours. We're in a different time zone. We're
the only
gonna arrive
clock
later.
is the one in my body. That's the only clock I'm expecting. And y'all got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
um,
really. Cause
just trying to elevate from the sundial time. And you know what's funny? So, like, you know, the equinoxes and stuff is all about not the equinox, the solstice. No, all four of them. They always talking about,
mhm.
oh, around this time the sundial time is correct. What? You mean your watch time is finally correct? How you gonna tell me that the sundial's been incorrect all year long, except for these 4 days out the year, but your watch time been correct all year long? Like, this the shit with men that I don't like. Like,
You
men,
designed your watch off of the sundial.
exactly, like your watch is never right. How you gonna say the sun is never correct, but your watch is correct? Like, bro, your ego is so dusty. Like, bro, I can't with humans. Like, man be wilding out here. Like, like,
What
I
time is it on
want
the
God to like
sundial?
get
Where is
all
the
the time
sundial
right,
at?
bro. I should have did another flood. Fuck that rainbow. Fuck that rainbow. Because that's exactly what I'll
So
be doing. How dare you? I gave
they
you
have
time already.
since they got a sundial time in Utah. Okay, I didn't know that. This is new to me. And they
You
have one in West Virginia.
West
Utah and
Virginia
West
too.
Virginia? Really?
The most
The
racist states
dustiest
in
places?
America. Thank you.
Right, the dustiest places. Like, are you?
I'm not
Oh
even
my god!
allowed
You
to
know it's
drive
about to be
in
a
West
lie.
Virginia
You
in the dark
know it's about to be a
time.
motherfucking lie.
It's a whole
First of
state
all,
of
y'all shouldn't have no
sundown.
motherfucking time. Y'all shouldn't have no motherfucking time right now because there's no sun out.
Right. Oh, sundown town
Bitches.
head asses. Fuck y'all.
It's 9:26 p.m. on the sundial time in Utah. Oh, here we go. Y'all niggas doing the time zone shit. Yo, I'm gonna make my own fucking sundial.
Oh, that's so how? All right, I got to get back into that and get back to you on that whole the way time is divided up across the globe. Because is it divided up according to the longitude and latitude maps we went over? Because it seems like those lines are very skinny. You figure
Latitude and
America
longitude
has
are
what,
only
like,
for geographical locating and shit only. But we're the only fucking country that don't use them. Okay, so England, all them motherfucking countries and shit, everywhere else, they use the latitude and longitude, you know what I'm saying, for addresses and shit. You know what I'm saying? You write a letter to somebody in England, they write you one back. It's the latitude and longitude on their location. We don't use that over here in America. We just use our whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's just random.
yeah,
It's
it's a
just
lot of
random.
shit is random over here, this motherfucker.
We don't even go by the lines the rest of the globe is going by. So there's 24 regions or 24 time zones separated by longitude. Each line of longitude is divided by 15 degrees as a general rule, and depending upon which way one travels, time moves forward or backward 1 hour for every 15 degrees of longitude.
Why?
15 every 1 degree of longitude is 69 miles radius. So was that like 70, 700?
So
Like
that
a
means
good
you know that means that you know the fucking the degree of what the earth is then, right?
yeah. So for every
You know the size
1100
of the earth then. You know the size of the fucking earth then. That's what you telling me though. That's what it sounds like. You telling me you know that each longitude separates itself between 15 fucking degrees or whatever to the next one or what have you. And all these 15 degrees, they gotta make up what? They gotta make a full 360 or something, right? I don't know. Or I don't fucking know. Whatever the fuck the shape of the sphere is. So it's gotta be 360, right? Degrees.
Wait,
All right.
14?
Full fucking circle.
It's 24. 24 times 15. Is that 365? No, because 4 times 5 is 20. That's a zero in the ones place. That's not 365. Hold on, I'm about to do the maths.
Well, 360 divided by 360 divided by you said 15 degrees between each longitude. That makes 24. 24 hours in a fucking day. That's what the fuck they did, sis. That's all they fucking did. Each one of the motherfucking longitude shit is a motherfucking hour in a goddamn day.
You make me tired. That don't even. That's dumb. That's, and it's
That's
a whole
how they
hour.
came up with our hours.
They pulled that. Wait a minute. Because what we're not going to do, that's 20 and that's 12. We're going to carry the 0, 24.
And they ain't add the extra 5 days. They
I was
like,
say, it's a 5 missing in there.
Nah, we gotta make the shape of the fucking earth. We gotta make it's gotta be a sphere. We're gonna leave that 5 off or whatever, so everything can add up. We got 24 hours in a day. That's what they did with the Gregorian calendar. There you go.
You know what? That's really man's hubris. It really is. Like, you're so fucking determined not to be wrong that you will intentionally make everything bend to your will to be correct. Because ain't no way.
Well, they was like,
way.
you can't have 24.33333333333 hours in a motherfucking day. We just gotta take off the damn third. Yeah, we gotta chop off a third. We gotta chop off a third, and we're gonna make it just 24.
Nothing on this earth is a fucking circle. Like nothing. Your cells in your body aren't a circle. Not one organ in your body is a circle. Not one organelle is a circle. Not one bone, tendon, muscle, organelle of a cell. Your brain isn't even a fucking circle. Your eyeballs aren't even perfect fucking circles. There's nothing about you that's a circle. I've never went out into nature and picked up a rock that was a circle. I never picked up a plant that was a circle. No parts of the plant is a complete perfect circle. Like there's no fucking circles out here. So how do you
I'm gonna say peas might have it.
Peas are not circles.
They got little dents in them. Yeah. I was trying to think of something really hard, you know what I'm saying? I was like, they got to know something that's a circle, You know what I'm saying? They got it from somewhere. It's a circle somewhere, but you know.
They made this shit up when they made the wheel. When they made the wheel, they got excited because they was like, circles make shit go round. So everything
People
makes
make
a
the
circle.
world go around. Oh, you know what, right, sis? You ain't fucking lying. Nothing goes into a rotation unless it's the shape of a fucking spear, wheel, or circle.
Yeah.
But like I said, though, like I said, going according back to my notes, you know what I'm saying? So what I was speaking about the Globus Cruciger, which they made that as the symbol of the fucking earth, right? The thing that the Pope holds up. Okay, so basically Globus Cruciger is the name of this thing, okay? And they just ran off with it, you know, that's the symbol of authority. And they just ran off with their shit talking about, oh yeah, it's a fucking globe. Okay, globes is something they used to describe a fucking spear. But, you know, to explain, you know, the Earth's name, Terra Mater or whatever, you know, which translates to English Mother Earth or whatever, translates to another shit as a fucking globe. So y'all fucking did. Roman Catholic, you can thank them.
Oh, I cannot stand Romans. I cannot stand Roman Catholic. Like, oh my God, that whole era of life can just kiss my whole ass.
But yet you have four corners of the fucking earth. Now, as a child, when I used to hear that shit in stories, read about it, movies, you know what I'm saying? Four corners of a fucking earth. If the earth is round, how you got corners?
Because they cut the ball at a random part between Alaska and Russia. So nobody knows that Alaska and Russia is connected until Sarah Palin said
If
so.
you cut a fucking if you cut a fucking circle, let's say you cut a ball in half, it's never going to be a fucking square. You cut a ball, half of it, and half of it is going to be, you know, half of it's round, and then you know got that little round edge. You cut it again into fourths or whatever. Now it's shaped like a watermelon slice.
That's why the majority of the map is blue. They was like, just put whatever, just blue.
Just put blue right there, yeah.
Just
because everything seemed far. So yeah,
the backdrop is blue.
yeah. This is why it's called the blue planet, because the volume of the Earth has the most water. How the fuck? Every fucking planet had to have water. Everything in the universe had to be created with water. Water is made with every fucking thing in this fucking universe. I believe. You can't make nothing on this earth without no water, for damn sure. I don't know nothing you can create on this earth without water. Cell phones, paper, metal. Everything has an element of water in it.
Everything got a hydrogen. Hydrogen and oxygen bond is the strongest bond on this plane. There's no bond stronger than the hydrogen oxygen bond. If you ever try to belly flop on some water, bro, that shit hurt. That is the hardest you'll ever receive.
I've never tried it, but I've heard the effects of it. I slapped my hand on some water. Pop! Ouch!
Slap you right back. Fuck back. That's why, like, once upon a time when they did used to whip people, and I mean they still do it now, they would do it with wet whips, or you would get in the tub first, you would be wet, and then you would get hit because there's nothing stronger than that hydrogen oxygen bond.
I got one of them ass whoopers before, wet as hell.
I definitely got an ass whooping in the shower before. Traumatizing.
Yeah. I ain't whipped my kids like that before though. I thought that was a little too harsh.
That was wild. I used to get ass whoopings in my, yo, you ever got woken up with an ass whooping? Bro. So now I'm not safe in my sleep. Stop playing.
Oh yeah, I've gotten wakened up by ass whoopings. I got put to sleep with an ass whooping. Cried so much, slept good as fuck. The best sleep ever after the ass whooping though.
These people wild with these circle shit. So not only did they make Earth and all the other planet circles, they turned around and made the celestial body.
Man's
that
balls aren't even circles. So I'm still trying to figure out where they got these circles from.
Right. It's not like they were like celebrating the penis like they do with everything. Like I would have thought that. I would have thought y'all would have made everything phallic shape. That made more sense to me, especially with the elliptical image of Earth.
Yeah.
You made that phallic shape.
Well, now that is nuts are the elliptical. Yeah. testicles are definitely elliptical shaped. Maybe the areola of the woman's breast, but they don't recognize women like that. They only recognize us to give birth. It's birthing some shit. And name us after a fucking ship. Oh, damn it. There you go. We are on a ship, sis. They always name their ship Mother Earth.
Oh yeah,
That's
Mother
the name
Earth.
of our ship.
We are on Mother Earth. Mother. So yeah, the eastward rotation of the Earth produces an apparent westward rotation of the sky. The stars appear to rotate around the northern or southern celestial pole. An observer in the Earth's North Pole could observe only the stars of the northern celestial hemisphere, and an observer at the equator would be able to see the entire celestial hemisphere. When I zoomed back on that website, you could see the entire celestial sphere. However, that doesn't really make me feel like we're on a ball. And I say that because going back to this model, if you were on the equator, on right here, the equator being those red lines right there, and you were standing on one of those red lines, whether you were in Africa, Australia, whatever, you would not be able to see the entire celestial hemisphere because you're
Hold
only
up now.
on.
So now we 23 and a half degrees away from the sun, or we tilted that. Oh, that's what we tilted on our axis, right? 23 and a half degrees.
Yeah. That's the tip. For those of you guys that are interested in natal charts and astrology, that is the tilted difference between the Vedic and the tropical chart as well. So if you ever just want to get into the math of learning your Vedic chart, you would just take the degrees of your tropical chart. Like say I was at 29 degrees Virgo. My sun is in 29 degrees Virgo. I would subtract 23 and a half and be at 5.5 degrees Virgo now. You know what I'm saying? That's the maths.
So that's how we come up with that 23 and a half at the angle that we are, from the sun, with the ax on the tilt of the axis.
It is called the Ayanamasa. So what happens is the ecliptic and the celestial equator meet at a 3.44 degree angle. The angle varies as a result of the moon and the gravitational pulls of the earth change. And we got into that with the earth versus the flat versus round episode with the gravitational pulls, and that's probably, adding to the fact that the earth is not a complete, which would not make sense because the laws, again, this is coming back to, we have to stop putting so much emphasis on the laws of men. The laws of man, and when I say man, I'm not just talking about men, I'm talking about humans. The laws of man is
mostly men who made the rules. Sorry.
It's so fucking our job here is to protect the universal laws. Those are the laws that we abide by. The laws of physics, the laws of matter, the laws of attraction, the laws of reaction. All those different laws that you learn, they literally taught it to us in a way that we didn't even believe those laws apply to us. We think those laws apply to molecules and atoms. Nigga, you are molecules and atoms. This is your law. These are the laws. These are our laws. All that other shit that y'all talking about, fucking codes here and laws there and policies here and shit, none of that shit fucking matters. You gotta stop making that shit matter. This is the only shit that fucking matters. And when you make this shit matter the most, the universe answers.
Yeah.
And so, with the mindset, and that's what's really controlling a lot of this and making it valid, is the fact that everybody's fucking listening to this stupid shit.
We all listen to it because it came from people with, very versed backgrounds in astrology and science and whatever have you, and degrees and all this other shit. It's only coming from these other YT people, and And we just gotta go along with it. Yeah.
Yeah. The law of matter. We get into the laws with water. Water only we did experiments with water. Water is the easiest, one of the easiest experiments to do shit with. Pour water on the counter. What happens?
Very fast. It takes a very nice form though. It does have a form. It does have a shape.
Yeah, it does have a shape, but it doesn't move like plasma. It's not going to do the same thing that plasma does. It's not going to do the same thing that fire does. Fire is going to stay
Mm-mm.
on whatever is flammable.
Yeah,
That's why.
water seems to break apart, you know what I'm saying? It separates as well. Depends on the
Yeah.
force of how you pour it, but it does, some draws away from each other.
If I pour water on the counter, it's gonna spread across the whole counter.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's still gonna have a meniscus. A meniscus is the border,
Mm-hmm.
outer layer, of water. It's it's gonna have that meniscus. It's still gonna have that strong hydrogen oxygen bond there. How at the same token, it's going to take up the shape of my counter, and it's even going to expand even further than my counter and start to drip on the floor. And it's going to expand even further than that and start to roll down the floor. If you live in houses like mine that just puts new flooring on old fucking houses, a lot of our floors are little diagonal. So
Well, I
you
wasn't thinking about spilling that much water. I was gonna do like a little bit, just like this much right here, and just
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 80% water. We need a whole. So if Earth, how, unless they put us inside of, unless the stratosphere is a perfect circle, and who the fuck made a perfect circle stratosphere? Ain't no way. And have you ever spilled like rocks on the table? I do that all the time. You guys know I make crystal jewelry.
Yeah.
Have you poured out a container of crystals on the counter?
Mm-hmm.
They don't spill out.
They kind of pile up on top of each other.
Yeah, they pile up
Mm-hmm.
on top of each other. And if I pour water on top of that, the water is not going to just stay around the earth
Pull it
piece.
out.
It's going to expand outside of that.
Right.
That's why I'm not really feeling this whole like, we in a circle, all these little rocks is circles and blah blah blah. It just don't make sense. Like tell me what the stratosphere is created out of and how is it creating this whole cup for this water like this? Like
Mm-hmm.
you ever seen an air cup? You ever
You
poured
know
water
what?
in an air cup? I don't even I've never seen a fucking air cup. I don't even know if
That
air
just
cups.
goes to show that the earth is not fucking round, because just think about all the land mass. The water either goes above it, around it, whatever, and it doesn't curve up. You ain't seeing no earth. You're not seeing the water up upon the earth in a dome. You know what I'm saying? Because we'll be underwater if we were in a dome like that. I ain't gonna hold you. If our earth was round like that, we'll be underwater. We'll be
Real.
under the sea.
For real.
That's my theory.
It's like you get into the laws of the universe, like this shit don't make sense. Y'all made this shit up. You're defying it. And you're
Yeah.
coming with
We wouldn't have no clouds.
it. And I'm being transparent with the people that's watching this. Like I'm skimming the surface. I'm not an expert at this, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I know what the fuck I'm talking. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I know that the shit that was taught to me don't make fucking sense.
It never made
And
sense.
and the more that I learn, the more that I self teach, the less it makes sense. The less that I'm buying it.
Yeah, because we still in the matrix. We still have the matrix, you know what I'm saying, being presented to us. We still moving through the matrix, trying to find our way out of it.
Right. And then as soon as we
Everything
get
we
out,
were taught, we have to unlearn.
if it's literally like the Matrix, if we literally just like little pods hooked up to some ugly shit and this little weird
Mm-hmm.
little, because I see, yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm good off that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
yeah, this is the science they want us to go with. We inside the little ball, and they even went as far as creating a whole celestial pole and a celestial south pole and the celestial equator, so that we're a circle within a circle that's within a circle, and that's fun. Um, again, coming back to this is how we move in space with the sun moving forward and we're moving around it. The path of the sun through the constellations, which are now called zodiacs. The zodiac is traced out by the sun in its annual circuit and ecliptic. An eclipse occur when the moon crosses, of course. The ecliptic is the pathway of the sun. Now, in our sky, from where we're sitting at, it appears that the sun is moving from zodiac to zodiac to zodiac. But the sun is not moving from zodiac to zodiac to zodiac. We are. But we're so fucking egocentric and self centered that we would rather talk about the sun moving than talk about how we move. It makes no sense to me. How we can sit here and talk about, oh, we rotate on our axis and we're this and we're that and we have an orbit and da 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 da. But then when it comes time to talk about, okay, we're in retrograde. No, we're not in retrograde. We have the clocks. We fall back and spring forward. Yeah, but when I look up in the sky, the way the constellations are set up, if you're telling me that the constellations don't move, it's actually Earth moving, and I see the summer set up in the sky, that means we're in fucking retrograde. That means that we move so slow that we're still in the summer sky. We haven't reached to the winter sky yet. And why'd y'all have to
What
move
if
the
we move
clocks
backwards?
forward?
What if we move
Retro.
backwards? That's why you gotta move your clock back.
Yeah, during the autumnal equinox, and then we move them forward during the spring June.
That's what the
And that
theory of fucking time, period. The theory of time. Time doesn't exist, okay? Time is merely only a fucking measurement of a simple dimension.
it's not even
Okay.
measurement of daytime to nighttime because it's not like when it's dark outside.
They just explain it like when it's day and night, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we have an expiration and people want to keep up with what it is. Maybe people wouldn't even die if people didn't keep up with time. Okay, if people start got there wondering what time it is, maybe we can live longer. Maybe we can measure ourselves. Maybe we can measure ourselves really as infinite beings and shit. Recognize that when we stop looking at time. If we always start wondering about expiring, we stop wondering about when we're going to expire or when something's going to come to a term of ends, we would be fine.
I like that.
But we want to measure shit all the fucking time.
I swear numbers are like the craziest spell that's put upon us because the numbers, once upon a time we weren't writing. We had songs and drawings and it just seemed better that way. And when we started putting like numbers and letters to everything, even the letters are numbers. It just like created like disharmony.
In algebra.
Yeah.
In Arabic,
it's like of trying to be in control of nature or trying to assert its dominance over nature. And I'm just in a space where it's 2023. We're in the 7th celestial year. If you still think you're bigger than nature and you can stop shit happening in nature instead of moving in alignment with nature, bro, you're in for a treat. You are in for a treat. You have to learn how to respect nature because you are nature. So why are you trying to assert your dominance and control and transform something that's already a reflection of you? That says a lot about how you treat yourself. That says a lot about how you treat other like animals, flora and fauna. It says a lot. It says a lot. It's a lot of
animals don't be wandering around when the hell they gonna expire. Animals live in the moment, they live in the day. You know how they used to say, like, if you don't secure your future, if you don't think about your future or what have you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucked up and shit. You need to think about your future. What I think about the future all the damn time. But there used to be a point in time I used to put a time limit on myself. I figured by the time I was the age of 30, if I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, then I was a failure. If I didn't reach at this certain point when I was 35, I was a failure. If I don't reach this certain thing, say thinking forward by 40 or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then have I succeeded in anything?
But who said you were 30? Who told you were 30?
Yeah.
So who are you 30? How old are you over in Russia?
For real. Okay. Okay. Because on fucking Mars, yo, I'm probably like 100. All right.
Right?
So
Right?
whatever.
I can go
But time is only
yeah.
something that humans have made up. Okay. It does not really exist. Just because man said it that this what it was doesn't mean it existed.
Time is not a universal law. Time is not one of the laws. And as far
No,
as
because
so we're
you
not
can't stop nature from doing what it's going to do. You can't stop the universe from doing what it's going to do. You can stop
right.
time, though. You can set that clock
So
back.
I was about to get to that. I thought they weren't going to do that this year. It was a whole thing on the news about how it was outdated and it needed to be like reconfigured. And I'm like, yeah, you guys man-made shit is starting to fall apart. Even y'all clocks are falling apart. Your calendars are falling apart. These calendars are so not in alignment with our seasons. Like the autumnal equinox is not happening. All right, so like we got back to the Ayana Masa. We're at a 23.44 degree difference between the zodiac, which is the imaginary line we created around the ecliptic, which is the sun's path according to our vision, and the actual constellations that we see the sun go through. So there's a 23-degree difference. That's 23 times 69. You do the math. That's how many miles radius there is in a difference. So it's to the point where like the constellations and the zodiacs are not even in alignment with the months. Like y'all think we in Aquarius right now? We're not in Aquarius. The sun just entered Capricorn like a couple days ago. And we're not in the age of Aquarius.
They've
We're
been saying
still
we've been in the age of Aquarius since I've been listening to some old school music back in the 70s, honey.
in the age of Aquarius so fucking bad, bro. Like
In fact, was it Earth, Wind, and Fire?
was
I
it
like Earth,
Earth,
Wind, and
Wind, and
Fire.
Fire bars? I love
Yeah,
them.
they be on point though. They be on point. But
That album covers to the
up
music to the
and
lyrics.
away, up and being together until 12. Never our hearts will sing forever. See, they knew they were infinite beings.
Yep, they did. They did.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Echo.
I'm gonna say it might have been Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Hit
But
all
there
the
was a
notes.
lot of people that used to say they was in the age of Aquarius, though. You know.
Yeah, there was a lot of different things going on in the 60s and 70s and stuff. They just wanted to be in the age of Aquarius, but we're still in the age of Pisces. That's why you still got like a lot of people in a space of they're still believing. They're still in the energy of belief and not in the energy of no. And you're seeing before your eyes a lot of these man-made things crumble because we had to believe in those things. We have to believe in time. We have to believe in the days of the week. We have to believe in the calendar. We have to believe in the economic system. We have to, if you look at the way the dollar bill, if you look at all the Latin on a dollar bill and decode it, you have to believe that that dollar bill is worth what you're saying it's worth. And if I hand it to you and you accept it, you're saying, I believe that this bill is worth what it's worth and it's good enough. This is all belief. You have to believe in this genetically modified food. You have to believe that McDonald's is dinner and fruit is dessert. You have to believe this shit.
Oh yeah, there was a time when I think we all had it twisted and fucked up.
You can't have strawberries till you eat this pizza.
Right, like
you believe
you
shit
can't
like
get full off of strawberries. You better eat you some bread.
right.
Knowing that you
Why?
can eat strawberries and shit all day long, honey, and not even worry about a fucking calorie. And I wonder how they measure that shit any fucking way. But anyways,
Another belief. But you gotta believe in all
y'all
this
niggas
shit.
measuring every damn thing. Well, I just can't eat till I feel like I'm satisfied. You know what I'm saying? For my body type and my weight or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
you tell me I can only have one apple in the morning and that's supposed to be enough energy. Man, one apple feel like I ain't ate shit. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, it
I'm
does.
5'9". I need 2 damn whole apples. And did y'all say it's like what 90 calories a piece? I might need 200. You can't base that damn that calorie system off of what they say 2,600 for a woman, 3,500 for a man a day.
No, I don't want to lie to you because I never cared. I eat
I'm
what I
an
want.
average sized woman.
I don't stand on the scale. I eat what I want. You know, I determine if I want to work out when I look in the mirror and I see what I see and I'm like, oh, I can grab a little bit here, I can grab a little bit there. Oh, that
Yeah,
means I
that
gotta.
means I grab a little bit about everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely can grab it anywhere, but if we get to the point where it's like it's a little too much, I don't want that
When my
there.
body
So
tell when if I've been over and my body feel like, okay, girl, that was a little difficult. I'm gonna need for you to start getting it together. I'm gonna tell you
my
when I first seen
is
it.
walking up the steps. If I'm walking up the steps and I cannot hold a conversation on the phone when I'm walking up steps, then yeah, it's time to do some cardio, sis. It's not about, the belief that I need to be skinny or the belief that my ass has to look like this or the
I just
belief.
believe that my stomach doesn't need to be enlarged, and it holds a lot of stress on your body. It's connected to
Mhm.
your heart. It causes heart problems, and that's where a lot of your energy is contained in your fucking stomach, in your guts. So
Yep.
if my gut ain't got the right amount of energy in it, I'm not going to feel motivated to do a motherfucking thing.
Ain't doing shit. When I
Mm-mm.
was when I
But
was on
eating,
my raw vegan journey, I ate way more than I ate any other time in my life. Being raw vegan, it wasn't even like I was eating like plates of meals. I was
mm-hmm,
snacking a lot. I always had
mm-hmm,
some I always had some veggies on me and stuff like that. Even when like I was pregnant with Miles when I was a raw vegan, I definitely always had some fruits and veggies on me. And I had
mm-hmm.
like pregnant, I could eat 2 big meals a day. But after I had him, I could only like hold in one. I can only do 1 big meal a day, and usually that was like around 1 o'clock. And for the remainder of the day, I'm snacking here and there. But yeah,
Right.
like if you're eating fruits and vegetables, you're definitely going to be eating way more often, and there's nothing wrong with that because like you're
Yeah.
not. I don't know what calories are supposed to do to you. I
I
don't
don't know what
understand.
calorie intake I'm supposed to have or whatever shit.
The
I used to work out
calories
with a
of vegetables is weird to me. I think I would apply that more towards like takeout and fast food, like empty calories, like you know what I mean?
right because they had a discovery where they seen like some feces of our ancestors or whatever, and they said their intake of like fiber was very very high. So that means what they ate a lot of vegetables and shit. You know what I'm saying? They ate a lot of fruits on a daily basis.
Oh, did me and you have that conversation when they were studying poop and they noticed that there's certain bacteria over in Africa that are missing in people's stomachs now?
Oh, I think we had that conversation. I believe we did.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. But they were saying that they ate like, let's say, like you got a bag of broccoli. They'll eat that in one sitting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
In one part of the day and eat some old broccoli, another
I
bag.
eat a whole bushel of broccoli in one sitting. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Broccoli.
because it ain't nothing to eat no damn broccoli or whatever. This is really the main only country that we have our fruits and vegetables as a side and our meat as a whole. Girl, I was talking to these guys. I had picked up because I drive for Lyft or whatever. And
Mhm.
he was like, yeah, the food was good there or whatever, but it wasn't enough or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, I just feel like I need to eat like more protein. You know what I'm saying? I need to get more protein in my body, whatever. Yeah, I'm like, well, you should eat more vegetables or whatever. He's talking about, yeah, but vegetables they don't hold enough, have to eat meat, because that's where you get most of your protein from. I'm like, the biggest and largest animals get their protein um, from plants. He
And the
was
only
like,
protein you get
not
from
really.
animals
I'm like, think
is
about it. You got a cow that eats grass. You have a whale that grazes, that eats, what is it? Kelp?
protein.
A great blue
So,
whale eats fucking kelp, bro. Okay. He was like, yeah, but it's so much that you got to eat. Like, yeah, you think that damn whale ain't open up his damn mouth and all that kelp is getting him. He's filtering the fucking ocean with his baleen and he ain't getting enough kelp in his body. This is huge. You got, and then you got to think about it. After a lion takes down a fucking antelope or some shit, that motherfucker eat for a little bit. They get tired. They get lazy. They lay down. They sleep. Antelope and shit, they jump around, hop around, eat all day. That's all they do. They sit there and they eat and graze on grass, hay, whatever the hell it is, and they hop around all day, running from lions and shit. That's why they pray after the week, because they're not fast enough yet. They're still babies.
They're not. Yeah,
and it take a couple of them to take down one of them niggas.
They're too lazy to get the strongest antelope. They have to get one that's by itself. They have to get a runt. They have to get a child animal, and then they can't even do it themselves. It has to be a whole group of them.
Yeah.
Never one animal just going to attack another animal to eat it. It's always a group. So, and then they're all eating it. It's not like it's just one lion eating a whole antelope. Like, no, it's a whole squad about to come through and eat.
Look how big a hippopotamus is and how fast a hippo moves on land and in water, yo.
Not fucking with no fucking hippo. I watched a hippo fight one time. I'm good. I know you don't want me, but I'm good. You got it. You're a dinosaur. We're good.
I don't even think they like fat though. They just look like they big as hell and shit, and look like they'll be slow. Them niggas is quick. They agility is off the chain, yo, and powerful.
8-degree mouth for me.
But only the 4 toofuses.
Oh, we good. I don't need to see your molars, bro. We good.
Yeah, that thing is wild.
But the food pyramid is also a big belief. You got the pyramid. That shit is fake as hell. I can't with it.
Yeah, when you don't have water in the food pyramid, yo, that's a problem. You got milk instead of water?
That's funny. They got food smaller shit on the side.
Then you got the salt and the sugar down at the bottom, right? It's somewhere. It's either at the top or at the bottom. Somewhere the salt and the sugar is what the little specks that look like stars.
I ain't seen a dumbass pyramid in so long. That whole pyramid kissed my ass too.
But
yeah, this is to like how the sun goes through the constellation. So, yeah. So we're on Earth. Earth is moving, but we're just going to say everything else is just going through stuff. Stars are visible at midnight shift, and they shift westward 1 degree each midnight thereafter. And don't forget, 1 degree is 69 miles radius. If you ever want to learn the math of your astrocartography chart, you would look at the degrees of the planet it's in, multiply by 69, and put it towards the map. So if I'm in Jersey and something is a degree away from me, then I would look 69 miles radius away from me, and that would be the area where that next planetary placement is at. If you guys ever want to astrocartography, that's how you would do it. But yeah, and that's pretty interesting. So every night after midnight, the stars move westward 1 degree. And that comes back to the mindset of fucking retrograde. Because in the sky, during the month of December-ish, you're dealing with the solstice energy towards the end, and like maybe like the first week or two of January before we start getting back into our prograde planets, including Earth slowly getting back to its prograde, but not totally there yet until like March, April. You'll see the summer sky is still in the sky. It's not moving that it's not moving that 1 degree westward. It actually starts to moving eastward. So by the time you get to the solstice, Sirius star is in the same spot as the July 25th sun. So you have Sirius star there, and then you have the constellation surrounding around there, and that's where they get the sun is born. They have the rising of the Sirius star, and then the 3 stars, the 3 kings or whatever, following behind them and stuff. That's a whole thing. We got into the ecliptic and the celestial equator. The ecliptic is stable, which we know because the sun doesn't move, the earth moves, but the equatorial plane shifts as the earth's axis of rotation changes, of course.
we change. Yeah. Positions of the celestial poles create a period. Oh, this is it. See, I told you I was gonna come to it eventually.
Oh,
So the celestial poles create a period of 26,000 years. And remember, we were getting into like Dr. York, and he was talking about trying to find. This is what it looks like. So this is the model of the Earth and how it rotates around the sun. And even though the sun is standing still, if in our sky from where we're standing at, it always looks like the sun is against the backdrop of stars. So that's where we get the visual. Oh, the sun is in Scorpius, the sun is in Libra, the sun is in Virgo. But really, what we're doing is we're believing that the sun is in those places, but in reality, Earth is in opposition of those places.
mm-hmm.
This is also the science. Okay, so you see those. Go back. So you see the poles at the north and south area of the Earth. Those are what create the cones. They create celestial poles, and those celestial poles create larger circles above and below them, which takes about 26,000 years. There it goes. So this is the see it does the ellipsoid model of the Earth over here, and these are the poles that are created, the celestial poles, and these are the 26,000 years, that age that we were talking about with the sun cycle and the moon cycle being 6,000 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the Britannica, they have it as 26,000 years, but according to Dr. York, it's 24,000 years. I mean, it depends on how you do the math, like who's counting the time and stuff. We just talked about time not really existing. So to
Yeah.
count years would be saying we believed in the time. But that's essentially what that is, as far as us being in the sun cycle and then being in the moon cycle. It's what's being created by the celestial poles.
What else will we measure time in? If it's not numeric, how would we measure it?
How I measure time today, because I just do whatever I want whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I rise when the sun comes up. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I just get up when the sun is at a certain height for me. It is ironically always around 9:30, 9 o'clock. I love my
Right.
nine. That's like when my
Right.
body wakes up. Like that's why I said the only clock I respect is mine. There are certain times of the year where I'll wake up automatically at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's certain times of the year where I wake up 7. It's really whatever my body wants to do. And then when the sun goes
Mm-hmm.
down, I'm done with the day. I'm not a night walker. I'll be in the house awake, but to
Yeah.
be outside, be like, oh, we finna go to work and I'm finna do like I've had overnight jobs before because I just don't sleep. But at the same token, it's just like when I do whatever I want to do, when the sun goes down, I'm going down. I'm ready to turn something on or listen to some music, journal about my day. I'm really like bringing myself to a close.
So then how would we measure time from like years ago, months ago? If we didn't have the numeric system, how would we
I'm
do so? Because I'm
doing
thinking like
it.
artifacts, shit like
Yeah,
that.
the same way they did it. Like we had the Bronze Era, the Stone Age,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
historic era. Like those were called those
Mm-hmm.
prior to them starting to put like year stamp
The
dates on,
years and numbers on them, right?
you know. And then also utilizing the stars, utilizing the sun with the sundials, and
Mm-hmm.
when we
The
got into
positioning of where the stars were at this time, because the position of the stars nowhere near what they was 20,000 years ago.
not at all, not at all. We had a whole
Mm-hmm.
different North Pole star. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got a whole different North Pole star now.
Right.
Um, yeah, I would definitely use the constellations or the zodiacs. I would use is the sun up or sundown. Like even if I did use the numerical, the fact I think is the way the time is divided is weird. Like I would make sunrise midnight, 12 o'clock in the morning, because that's the start of the new day. Why wouldn't the start of the new day be at sunrise? Like what's the science behind picking midnight at midnight?
Right, because it all looks when that nightfall around 7 o'clock, it all looks like midnight then.
Right. So it's like the time on our that we're even using on our clocks don't even serve us. It's still getting dark at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and that whole 9 to 5 work model. I mean, who's doing the 9 to 5 work model? Our healthcare people work 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. School is from maybe school 8 to 4:30, 8:30 to 4:30, the 7 to 3, the 6 to 2:30. I did 6 to 2:30 in high school, so
You're
maybe it's the
welcome, Marcel. Peace
yeah.
to you. But yeah,
Yeah, it
sis.
really sounds like it's for the Monday through Friday 9 to 5, and it's not for anybody else. And how many people don't work a 9 to 5? Like, come on now.
Who's to say that nighttime isn't a whole nother day? How you know
Exactly.
these days don't alternate between each other? You
It's
might
because
have a day that's day. You might have and then the what you think is nighttime in the same day is
it's a dark
the
day.
next day.
Wow.
Mhm.
Because
I
Alaska has 30 days of darkness. Does that mean that's just one dark ass day? Like,
Right. They have 30 days. Exactly. They have 30 days of darkness. So if they didn't have the numeric system to measure time, then it will all
they
still
wouldn't
be one day. Would it? It would still be all one day.
if they were paying attention to the stars, it probably wouldn't be for them.
Right.
But I don't think they would have came up with a 24-hour day night thing. Like the whole 24-hour thing is
Well, that was Dusty because if we wrote that shit down.
with that one first. As soon
Right.
as I became
Sure, he's
president.
got it. They done found us out. Oh shit, Virgo version talk. They done did it again.
So with the celestial poles creating a period of 26 or 24,000 years, depends on what you're talking about. The precession of the celestial equinoxes when we're actually coming out of our moon cycle and going into our sun cycle now. We talked about that. And the causes a series of stars to become the pole star. So Polaris is the current pole star that we have now. It will come close to the North Celestial Pole in 2100 CE, and that's when it will literally be at the top of our pole. And then at the time of the pyramids, Thuban, which is a star in the Draco constellation, that little dragon constellation we see that's kind of near our pole, but not really. That was the North Star during those times. And then in 12,000 years, it will be the Vega star. So in the middle of our sun cycle, we will have Vega being our polar star. And Vega is actually a bigger star than the sun. Our sun is not a big star.
No,
It's
it's
not.
not. What if our sun ain't even a star?
Right.
My mind just get to wondering. Yo, I swear, if I smoked a blunt, like I would have so many different thoughts.
This is what the
they call
celestial
the sun if it wasn't a star?
Marians.
I like this.
I don't know what the fuck this says.
It's the shape of a round, flat Earth, and it has direction. It has directional. It has linear. It has linear.
I see the equinox
arrows.
type line. Okay.
There's an arrow that leads like back to the center. You see it?
Okay.
Of it. It looks like an arrow that leads to the center of it. Mm-hmm. Let me blow up my screen some.
I get a vibe that they took the what we usually talking about, how we look like we're just on one hemisphere, so we see the sky is spherical. So the sky was spherical.
I see that line. It looked like they started to slice a pizza and they pizza cutter weren't hitting on shit with that other slice right there.
Here we go with the 360. Always trying to make stuff 360. Jesus Christ.
Who came up where they discovered this at, sis?
These are the Sumerians. The Sumerians came up with this one. The
Okay,
Babel, they
yeah, the
tried to
Sumerians
use
did have the order
Babylonian
document.
for everything. Like, bro,
Oh yeah, I
like,
do have that in my notes.
get over yourselves.
Yeah, the Sumerians did, come up with that. Now, just because they came up with this doesn't mean they was telling y'all about the shape of the earth, okay?
Right.
Or
They
maybe they
literally
did.
from from where they were located. I don't know how much traveling Sumerians did, like if they were sailors or anything like that. I don't know any of that. Um, Royal Egyptian tombs of the second millennium BCE included paintings of constellation figures on the tombs. Greek astronomers used maps and globes, but those are missing conveniently.
Okay.
Huh? The
No,
Islamic
mhm,
masters of the
mhm.
11th century and onward have set the foundation for the celestial maps that we know today. And keeping it 100 with you, I'm not the biggest fan of the Islamic culture, and I felt the trigger. I felt like I pulled a trigger when I said that, and I say
No
that because
shit.
we like to forget that like white people were not the only, like the transatlantic slave trade was not the first slave trade. They learned that shit from
Yeah,
the
for
Arabics,
Arabics.
and
They've
it
invaded
killed
Africa and all that many of times.
exactly. They got it from that slave trade over there. Islam was Islam was created with the intentions of establishing commerce to the same extent that Christianity and the
Mm-hmm.
Puritans and all them motherfuckers did it too.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to take credit for teaching people how to wash their ass and domesticate themselves, then also take credit for teaching them how to sail across the ocean to enslave other indigenous folks for being free. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man, playing with me so you can stop playing with yourselves. Like, if you're in skin folk that's not trying to do their shadow work. Like that quote,
Mm-hmm.
skin folk, all skin folk ain't your kin folk. That shit run deep. That shit run deeper than you talking about blood in your family. We talking about a group of different skin color people coming to the Turtle Island on a boat together to enslave us. That's what we're talking about.
All on one accord.
All on one accord.
Mm-hmm.
With slaves,
They thought about that collectively.
differentiation between skin color. It was all about caste system. It was not skin color. Y'all keep making everything about skin color. Racism was not invented and established until 1775, a year before the establishment of the Americas. And in 1776 is when the exercising of racism came to fruition. That's why slavery was not as long as they trying to say it was. It wasn't no slavery in the 14 and 1500s on that level that they're trying to exhibit it as in the movie Roots and shit. That shit was not happening in the year 14 and 1500. That shit was happening in the 17 and 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
So like, nah, bro, play with yourselves. Don't play with me. That was war. We were in war. We were at war. And when you go to war with people and you win, you enslave
Put them
and you
in prison.
yeah.
Prisoners of war. Mm-hmm. They say the oldest accurately dated star chart appeared in ancient Egyptian astronomy in 1534 BC.
Lies.
Huh?
Lies.
The earliest known star catalogs were compiled by the ancient Babylonian astronomers.
Astronomy.
Yeah. I want to say asteroid and astronomy at the same time, and I'm not getting astronomers.
Facts.
Mesopotamia in the late second millennium BC during the Kassite period. Oh, and the oldest records of Chinese astronomy date to the Warring State period, but the earliest preserved Chinese star catalogs of astronomers Shi Xian and Ga Di are found in the second century of Qiji. I don't know why I gotta put the emphasis on the Chinese shit like that. By Western Han historian Sima Qian. Or is it Xian?
I don't know. I
With
don't
the
lie to
Q.
you.
Maybe it's Kian. Qian.
Quian.
Well, K. I mean Qian.
It's
Kian.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send me the
Anywho, the oldest Chinese graphical representation of the night sky is a lacquerware box from the 5th century tomb of Marquis Yi Zing. Oh, my bad. It's Zhang. It's Zeng, I think. Although his depiction shows the positions of the Chinese constellations by name and does not show individual stars.
Those are
And
little
then they
stars.
didn't even show me the lacquerware box. They didn't even show me the freaking box.
Yeah, I couldn't find the box when you told me about that. I was trying to find it to put it in here, but
I'm
I
mad
found
as hell. Like, why?
it looks like a plot graph.
Who child drew that shit?
The Chinese peoples. This is their atlas.
That wasn't what I was expecting. That certainly wasn't expecting nothing like that.
It's just a whole bunch of these shit.
It looked like connect the dots, okay?
Yeah, it do.
Now the characters for their writing is just splendid. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah, I
Perfect.
do.
But y'all couldn't draw them circles and them damn lines, right?
That's the best.
Says I ain't gonna hold you. One that over there looks like a fan, and then it looks like a scythe with a fan. That one is a squiggle.
I see some fallopian tubes over here on top of a squiggle.
I see a wishbone or horseshoe. You say you see fallopian tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a vagina. Over there to the far right.
Sperm cell going inside of the fallopian tubes. I don't know.
It looks like the vaginal canal with the fallopian tubes and the uterus, and then some other 3 dots on top of it. So maybe they're saying that's when somebody got preggo with triplets. I don't know.
Wild. I like that though. That's probably like how you really could tell stuff.
We got another zigzag.
The ziggy zaggies.
Yeah, there's a few zigzags over here on this
The
thing.
majority of the astro maps that we utilize is based upon the Islamic makers. The same way with the maps of the earth is based upon the Islamic makers, because then they got to do their shadow work, bro. Because that shit makes me itch. Like, we're bigger than that. The first printed planisphere is the celestial sphere on a flat surface. The square bullshit we be talking about was produced in 1515, and printed celestial globes were released about the same time. Telescopic astronomy began in 1609. In the 1950s, astrocartography began influencing maps. And I think I do have this is one of the books that was written by our good buddy. This is the Book of Fixed Stars by
Was it Zing Zing Ching or Ki Guan Chan?
No, this is Islam.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I knew it looked a little different. Yeah, because they got the little dots in their shit.
This is in
they got the little dots in their characters. They got a lot of dots. Okay, yeah, my bad, y'all.
With it, like, that was definitely a perfectionist era in life. Like, Jesus. I tips my hats off to the Islamic Moors. They did rise above the Arabic enslavement and, did big things. Super dope. Like, a lot of advances in different things, but at the same token, I'm not gonna shy away from calling a spade a spade. Like,
so when they read from the right hand side to the left, and from the right side of the page to the left, right? So the right page over there, you start on the tip, on the end, on the right side, and you're reading backwards like that. And then you go to the left page on forward. But this is a chart right here, so that probably don't apply to that.
Yeah, I think this is one of those astronomical catalogs. Oh, I have a sky disc in here too.
It'd be nice if they had a translation.
Right? asking for too much.
Oh, Virgo, Leo, Cancer. All that.
I also like this model because this model shows me, all right, so if the sun is currently in Capricornus, then that means that the earth is in Cancer. So we could start being more
Oh, yeah.
aware.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, the sun, you turn the dial. Yeah, sun. Okay. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
it seems like the sun is moving. We're actually moving, so we have to turn ourselves. So if we are in Cancer, that means that the sun is in Capricornus. That means that Cancer is actually in the middle of the winter time. Again, a lot of this belief shit
If
is
we're
false.
moving and the sun ain't moving, then the sun ain't moving. The sun is always going to hold the same position then.
Yeah, it's just this.
Mm-hmm.
It's how the sun appears in our sky. The
Oh, you're
constellations
right. Mm-hmm.
and the zodiacs are the backdrop. That's the background.
Mm-hmm.
The sun and the planets are in the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Where Earth moves, Earth is looking at when we're standing on Earth, we're looking at how the planets and the sun and the moon look at in our sky from where we are.
Okay,
So
so from where I am and from
yeah,
where you are, that would seem totally different, wouldn't it?
yeah, it would. That's why, like, when you do your natal charts, you got to know the
Mm-hmm.
you were born, the city and
Mm-hmm.
state.
Right.
That's yeah, you got to put those things in to get an accurate natal chart so that you can get the actual like longitudes and all that you need with the planetary placement. So yeah,
So
it
how
would
they
be
figure we on the same time zone then?
assumptions. Assumptions. That's why when I do my planetary forecast, I will, that's why I'm doing the school for energy awareness because I
Mm-hmm.
for there to be more planetary forecasters. For people that are into that kind of shit because like you're saying, like you being down there, you're the times that you're going to see conjuncts and all those different things is way different than the time that I'm experiencing up here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I met one
I would
planetary.
love I would
He
love to
was
be a planetary forecaster, but I'm not well versed in it yet.
It's all right. The school is coming. Enrollment
Okay.
opens in March, and then I begin in September.
Oh,
I
this
want
March? Oh yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I did tell you I had an interest in it, right?
That
Did I
gives
fill out
me
my
like
form?
to promote it
I
and
did fill
stuff.
out my form, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We did the. Remember when I was doing the 22-minute consultations and stuff? I got a whole
Okay.
email list for people when it opens. Sending those emails right on out.
Okay.
Start
I was
until
hoping I didn't miss it.
mm-mm, until
Mm.
after the summer is over because I know it's gonna be hard to get people to sit still in the summertime. So
Oh yeah, summertime is like grind time.
I figure I'd be in alignment with college admissions. Fuck it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna get serious and buckle on down.
Right. Yeah, I like this. I like that,
Kids
and
going back to school.
I'm definitely gonna be using this in my planetary forecast to talk more about where the Earth is and why we see the planets in the positions we see them in. I also like this model as well because this is showing. You see, like the orange line going through the middle of Earth is showing you where the equator is,
Hmm.
and I guess if you were on the upper side of the equator, you'd be able to see. No, you wouldn't. There's no way you could be anywhere on the equator and see the whole celestial sky from this model. It just doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
But you see how the poles, the stars at the top, how Polaris is the current North Star. You see the
Yeah, I
signs
see it.
why because of the natural North and South Pole, according to if our world was perfectly round, and we found that 0 degrees, zero latitude in the north and in the south of the Earth. So that's where that star is, and then you know that's our little celestial 26,000 years or whatever that we create with that with our natural pole making a on the sky. Very interesting. It's like a top, like a spinning top.
Yeah, they did that.
They did that.
Oh, there goes the Ecuador, the equator again. But they
Mm-hmm.
had the different lighting up of the
Yeah,
map, the different colors on the map. The
they
one
got
where it
the.
looks like, like the temperatures or something like that.
Mm-hmm. They got the
Okay, now
celestial,
this here we're looking at that. The NCP. What is NCP?
the celestial pole versus the Earth pole.
Oh, right. Hmm. Elliptic. Elliptic.
Ellipticals.
Okay,
Oh,
so you got two different sides of the earth.
and
You got that side of the earth and that side of the earth, and they're both elliptical, according to the point of which the sun is around September. Uh-huh. And the 22nd of December and the 21st of June.
oh, that's like the summer. That's like the solstice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah, that's when
assuming
we move our clocks back and forward and shit.
in March 21st and what is that? September 21st or whatever. That's when the opposite side of the earth is in the sunlight.
That's Mutu's birthday, December 22nd. So
That
maybe
would
that's the Capricorn tropical shit they were talking about.
even if you go from that route, that wouldn't make sense. That would mean that like we don't have day and night the way we think we do. We don't have day and night as often as we think.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got two opposite sides of the earth right there, and they're both facing the sun this way. Like, okay, so you're just rotating it with how's it circulating? Like,
How are
I
you
don't know.
determining that that side of the earth is getting the most sunlight during those times of year if we're constantly uh doing this in a circle like we
In
always.
reality, sis, it don't work like that with light for real though. It don't work like that. You just not gonna have a perfectly half of the fucking globe lit the fuck up. It's not gonna happen. And then
Maybe
y'all make the sun smaller. You make the sun so much smaller in the picture than the earth. So that
right.
what you telling me the sun is smaller than the fucking earth all the time? Because that's what y'all make the appearance to be every time they present these modules.
That's the only way they can make it make sense because if you had a bigger sun, it would show that we don't really deal with
Light and
seasons.
dark.
Way
Yeah,
there's
seasons like that.
seasons. And oh yeah, I read some crazy shit. So like getting into the history of colonists or whatever, they murdered so many humans, and that's where a lot of this cool down shit is coming from. So much death is occurring. So much death occurred that it cooled down this hemisphere of the earth. So we didn't even have the seasons the way we experience them now with all this like super cold shit happening and stuff. That was created.
Oh yeah, you know what? That sounds like what Trey said when he said, hell, the reason why it be so hot because so many people on the damn, outside at one time on the damn earth or whatever, on the surface and shit or whatever. And also the people that they murdered and killed, saying it's on the ground, that causes the heat as well. And shit. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they killed so many people over here that it cooled down. But
Mm-hmm.
be super de duper hot, and we was out here living our best life. But they can't live in that heat, and that's where a lot of the spraying in the sky and stuff is coming from. Like we had like weather catastrophes, like extreme weather. We still had hurricanes and tornadoes and firestorms and thunderstorms, lightning storms. We still got all that, but at the same token, like all this, like oh, it's so cold, shit is icy and stuff. Like that was only happening in like regions, like outer regions. It wasn't happening as like how it's happening across the America like this.
Mm-mm.
And that makes sense because how the fuck is the equator in Ecuador? That makes sense. Ecuador, equator. But then North America is so fucking cold. We're hella close to Ecuador. We're not that far from Ecuador. Make it make sense.
Not that far if you ask me.
We're not that far for it to be so damn cold. You're not fooling me.
And what about the other countries? You know what I'm saying? Near Ecuador and all that. Like I said, it had some white around there. Like some of them were lit up in red, some of them weren't. Then hell, the Sahara Desert is fucking hot. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking hot as fuck as the Sahara Desert. So you mean to tell me it's warmer near Ethiopia and shit or whatever than the Sahara Desert? Because then they say the equator is always hot.
They just be up here spraying and doing shit. South America should be cold. South America should have winter time then. Oh, this is also
They
another
should, right? They should,
Yeah.
right? They don't
And
go
we
through
are-
winter time though, right? But we do.
That doesn't make sense.
They're closer to Antarctica compared to the map though, right?
Who South America is supposed to be they just as far away from Ecuador as we are. Like if I was in Chile somewhere, I would be just as far away from Ecuador as I am in like Jersey or fucking Maryland, Delaware, but it's hot over there. That might be like the diagonal as well, like, but then that also doesn't make sense because across the ocean we got we do got Europe across the ocean and it be cold over there. They also got like what's on the east side of Africa? Is it cold over there? Well, no, that's west, according to the
I'm just trying to figure out how the hell the north and south separates and how the hell the north and south is cold and how the lower under the equator is still warm, except for Antarctica, where it's cold.
It gets cold again to the point where it's frozen.
Where it is frozen, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That math not mathing to me. I would have to
Math
dig
ain't math me neither.
the logic they came up with to defend that because that doesn't make sense to me. This is from Iraq. This was from 320 to 150 BC, and this is the list of constellations and the number of stars and the distance from one constellation to the next constellation, and that's fun.
Okay, they all look like just about the same shit, except for the first two up there. Everything else, it looks like find the different one.
I like it. I'm here for it.
It's very neat though.
In the 20th century, astronomers divided the sky into 88 areas or constellations, which is interesting because the Chinese John had 257 constellations. So we brought that down to 88. And that's recent. That's the 20th century. So that's the 1900s. That's not that long ago. Again, thank you, colonists. Colonizing shit. Oh, this is the disc I was talking about. This is the
Looks like it could be a purse.
Dang, where's that on this one? Oh, this is the Nebula Sky Disc. This was created in 1600 BC during the Bronze Era. This is a bronze disc, and this is in India, in Kashmir. So you got the sun, moon vibe.
Like a smiley face.
Looks like a little shield.
You know, like a little shield with a smiley face on it. I wouldn't take that one seriously. If I seen that shield coming towards me.
Yes.
Like, did you put the gingerbread man on that shit, bro? What's that U shape down there though? I see the sun and the moon representation, I suppose. But what is the other little piece over there to the far right behind the moon? I'm gonna just assume that's a moon. And down there below the sun and the moon, what is that?
Well, if you look on the opposite side where the sun is, you'll see the same kind of shape. It's just darker.
It's darker. Yes, I see that. But what is it? What does it represent?
At the firmament,
Hmm. It looks like
are
it's
we?
light and like dark or something to me.
Yeah. Just odd that the dark side is with the sun and the
With the
light.
sun and vice versa with the moon.
Oh,
Maybe
message.
it's the portal. Maybe it describes the portal. Because the
Maybe.
moon, yeah, the sun is moving away and is lighting up the moon and to give the fucking light, to illuminate the light for the night.
Hmm. That makes
Hmm.
sense.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of this abstract
Maybe the sun gives
picture.
us light in the nighttime, and the moon gives us light in the daytime.
That's what I was going to say too, sis. It moves through the portal and gives the sun the energy it needs. Somebody got to recharge somebody.
Right? It was actually the Greeks that added personalities and moods. They created the horoscopic astrology to the astronomy.
Mm-hmm.
The Sumerians were the first ones to align gods to the stars, though. Remember we went over the story of Marduk, which was the son of Enlil, right? Or Enki, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He gave Marduk all the credit for Enki and Enlil defeating Tiamat and Apsu and all them.
Yeah.
But Jupiter, Ishtar is Venus, Nanutar is Saturn, Nabu is Mercury, and Nergal was Mars. So we only had 5 planets back then that they were giving, energy towards, and of course the sun and the moon and the earth. Again, still not personifying the earth, still not giving the earth any type of that certain level of awareness that I feel like is still missing in today's astrology. Um, Self-awareness is everything, y'all. We're not even self-aware as a planet. Greeks, yeah,
Hmm.
so the celestial longitude and latitude is defined with respect to the ecliptic and ecliptic poles. We went over that model pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one that you shared with me too. You gonna let me get back to it? Probably not. Fuck you.
It's
Anyway,
pretty colorful. I like it.
the longitude was
I like
measured.
a lot of colors.
I do too.
I like a big ass head. I like details as well. It makes me feel like it just gives me more to have some input on or some more thoughts.
Where So, like, while the Western world was using the ecliptic astronomy, going by the pathway of the sun, the Chinese were using the equatorial system, which just goes by the equator of the Earth. So, all that tilting on your axes and all that celestial pole shit, they didn't care about none of that. It was more so for navigators, navigating and stuff like that. Um, But yeah, I just got notes getting like digging deeper into like the science behind longitude is measured eastward from the ascending intersection of the ecliptic with the equator, also known as the first point of Aries. I think I went over that one though. The longitude of a star
Mm-hmm.
increases 1.396 degrees per century. So, every 100 years, you got a little 70-mile radius separation between self and stars. The first 30 degrees along the ecliptic is always labeled as Aries, even though it may now be in the energy of Pisces. Ecliptic astronomy dominated the Western world until the Renaissance, and then Chinese always used the equatorial system. During the Renaissance, after the Renaissance, we started having the rise of the churches and Christianity, and that was like some of the main things they demonized in their little Bible was
Astrology and
cute
stuff.
now talking about some God didn't come up with Sagittarius. Oh, you're so cute, dummy. Anyway,
Wow. So what do you want to call it? Like what if you want to take away the names and shit from it or whatever, then what do you want to call it then? What you just want to call them stars and you just call them just different shapes or what it look like? I mean, like that's already embedded in us. But what do you want to
God
call it besides that?
goat either, or sheep or cow or pig or dog or cat. We did. So like what are we talking about right now? Like they just be reaching. They don't stretch first either. That's wild.
No, they don't.
Out here believing a man-made book that was written. It's literally a history book that has been conquered and rewritten, conquered and rewritten, conquered and rewritten. Like, bro, come on. You gotta learn history. You gotta read history books at the same time you're reading any type of religious book. And if you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
But equatorial astrology is parallel to terrestrial longitude and latitude, is measured eastward from the first point of Aries on the Earth. So that's where, like, I guess that Cancer and Capricornus, you seeing that on the actual globe. I like to get into that too. And that's divided into the 24 sections that we talked about, the 24 hour. You said it was 24 hours rather than the 360. The galactic equator was the great circle centered in the Milky Way. Longitude is from Sagittarius, and it's in the direction of the nucleus of the galaxy. Latitude is from the galactic equator toward Coma Berenices, and that's a constellation we can see from the northern hemisphere. And that's what I got in my notes. That's all I got. That's all I got for y'all.
I ain't got nothing else neither. That's all I got. Yeah.
I really like this one. I'm definitely the planetary forecast theme song. Why won't you let me go? Now it's like I know where you're trying to go, and I'm not gonna let you get there.
It has resistance, yo. You trying to get the mind? Yeah, they don't want to show that.
They don't want to see us win. But this is the map, and I like this because it shows like physical bodies of the constellations that are being spoken upon. And when you guys tap into planetary forecast, I kind of use these models in the sky. It actually makes it look pretty cooler. But yeah, as above, so is below. As within, so is without. So while these constellations are something we see in the backdrop in the sky, they're also in the backdrop on our Earth, which is why you would get into astrocartography. And it's also the backdrop of your body, which is why you would get into my natal chakra readings. And so everything is just reflecting each other, and it's a great time. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
What's your conclusion?
My conclusion is this. We don't know what the hell be going on, but I think we could always look to the sky and look to the stars for guidance and answers for what we need to know down below.
Agreed. The next episode we have is mythical truths. So we can really get into the shit we believe versus the shit that actually exists. I'm very excited for that one. You know I'm definitely about to dig in the ass of all the shit we just went through today. Like, bro.
Everything today I had I had a question for it. You know, because I mean, it just naturally my mind is just rejecting, you know what I'm saying, a lot of shit that, you know, especially with, you know, just the displays and illustrations of, you know, the earth, the shapes, you know, how our solar system is set up. It just doesn't make any sense. Then you always make the sun smaller than the earth on certain pictures to describe like how it lights up one side of the fucking earth. Like that don't even make no sense. Just on a simple scale, you know what I'm saying? Like my mind can just go on and on and on for days, you know, if I could just find the words. Or my brain is kind of like on 15% right now, so I can't put everything together like how I want to.
That's all right. But, you know, it's time to be up out of here. Because not only did we sit with y'all for like 2.5 hours, we had a whole like 2-hour talk before we even got live. So yeah. Shift and
yeah, we were filibustering for real.
But I'm
like
here
we
for
could do
it.
like a marathon, or how long we could do a podcast. I think we'll win that shit, sis.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, we had somebody in the comments. My bad, love. I ain't seen none of these comments up here.
You ain't see Marcus
No,
Marcellus?
his Jones up there. Water is very powerful, can cut through anything. You absolutely right. I thank the both of you for sharing your wisdom. Absolutely, we enjoy being here. This is a fun space. This is a safe space. If anybody
Yeah,
ever wants
that's why he stayed with us for a bit.
yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
appreciate him.
I think that 'cause I had the presentation covering my whole screen, so I didn't see the comments.
I had minimized my screen a little bit, and I seen when he said something about the water at first. And when he said, "Thank the both of you for sharing your wisdom," I told him, "Peace. Thank you for tuning in."
Oh,
He was
okay.
speaking at the moment when I said that. Yeah,
Oh, my bad.
Marcel. Thank you, Mr. Marcel.
Oh, you still alive?
Yeah, thank you so
Yes,
much for
I'm still
talking.
live. You know how we do.
I thought you was going on for 2 hours.
Oh,
Well, it's 2.5 sometimes. You never know with us.
Been past you started at 8 o'clock.
She's talking about we started at 8 o'clock. We weren't even live. Okay. We were discussing our notes.
she be alright.
Yeah, she'll be all right. Like she ain't used to this now. We are going into our 8th episode.
Yeah.
Are
So
we? Is
many.
it our 8th episode?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going into our ninth episode.
Our
Ooh,
9th episode. Wow. You know
wow.
what, you guys? I don't want back up now. We are very dedicated to giving our information, okay?
Yeah.
Very, very, very much so. We're doing our best to stay on schedule.
Yep.
But we're doing our best. And so far, I want to give us both a pat on the back because we have. Okay. We've been doing it. Last season, it looks all put together or whatever. Everything does look all put together. But sometimes we weren't able to make it, what I'm saying, our schedules weren't aligned with each other. But now we on it. I'm proud of us
Easy.
for that. I'm proud of us for that because I like punctuality. I like punctuality and I like being on this. Sometimes I like being on man-made time. Sometimes I don't. All right. But it's all good though, because I like that we had people who viewed us today too. And I noticed that we're building up our audience.
Yeah, I like that. The substance is really good and it's worth the watch. And I had a lot of people, give us feedback on the safe space we created for people.
Oh yes. It is safe here. Look, don't mind us with our shit talking, okay? We talk a lot of shit, but we respect everyone's opinion, and we respect y'all thoughts. We value them, okay? We're here for you guys.
Because
Okay, because we can just do this amongst ourselves on the phone, like we usually do.
Right. We don't know shit, and we just really just be playing around with theories. And this is something I always wanted to do. Like when I was younger, reading about Aristotle and Ptolemy, and even trying to make up like where was Jesus at for like X amount of years. I just always thought like niggas used to just sit in a circle and just like make up shit and be like, all right, we like this, we gonna go with this. I like that. All right, let's shake on it, and then they
And
would
it
go
did.
into respective lands and teach that shit. Like, and that's just something that I just, I always thought like, dang, I want to do that. I want to spend my time just talk about philosophies and theories and sciences and stuff. And I'm literally living my childhood dream. It's not
Yeah.
by detail what I thought it was going to be. I'm grateful.
Oh, it's coming, sis. This is only the beginning.
Right?
It's only the beginning. Look, I don't even have a podcast mic yet. I ain't even got my whole laptop set up. I ain't got the setup like how I want. Because remember I said I wanted to have the backdrop with the Virgo Virgin Talk. I want to get some t-shirts, some mugs, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We in the second season already. We in the second season. We in the fourth quarter of the second, entering into the fourth quarter of the second season.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing good.
We accomplished a lot. We had guests on our shows. I'm happy.
I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm very grateful. This is a really dope space to be in. So thank you. I have to go lay down. Well, I'm not about to lay down. I'm about to stand up because I've been sitting here for too long.
Oh yeah, yeah. My ass is glued to this damn cheap ass chair. This is why I was frustrated working for Apple, because this chair was uncomfortable, and after about 2 hours, I'm yelling at my computer screen, cussing customers out if they're not paying attention to what the hell I'm talking about when I'm trying to troubleshoot with 3 of you at the same time. 3 people at the same time. It's because we doing chat. And I hate typing already. I hate texting. But yeah. So I really enjoy doing this. The seat doesn't bother me as much when I'm doing something I enjoy. My ass is on fire right now, but
My knee locks. If I stand for too long, if I sit for too long, if I lay down for too long, my knee and my ankle, they get stuck. And so like I gotta move it. Otherwise it's just very painful experience.
Yeah. See, next season, we're gonna be doing a lot of moving around. We're gonna be taking flights and shit too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. We coming to y'all hoods.
Yeah, we coming to y'all hoods. Y'all tell us where y'all at. We're gonna pull up on y'all. Pulling up on you, nigga.
All right, yeah. I'm out.
We're gonna pull up and get some historical shit.
Yes, I can't wait.
Night, y'all. We'll see y'all next Saturday. And this episode was brought to you by Less Nobodies and Body Yoni Essentials. Peace.